FATU Grand Order 48. Chapter 4, Raiders of the Lost Ocean, Part 1. Raiders of the Lost Ocean. Former Earth's Chaldea, Orbit, Fortress of Chaldeas, Director's Office, 1900 hours. Yellar. This is Dr. Elena Richardson. Log Entry 007. March 3rd, 2163. And with him lies our salvation. For as he gains in strength, so do they fall in numbers. The priests command the armies to the north and south, but he controls the fight. The inner circle of death is where he resides, hunting them at the far reaches of the earth and beyond. I'm a believer now. I feel it is in doom that I have faith. The Slayer is the spear that stabs at the heart of our attackers, and those that would seek to harm us should feel warned. For there is only one dominant life form in this universe, and he carries a steel-barreled sword of vengeance. All hail the coming of the Destroyer. The time of the Slayer's unrelenting judgment has arrived. The last log from Dr. Richardson left Marie shocked. The religious fervor in her voice almost infected Olga, almost making her become a believer too. From a calm and diligent scientist, with each log, she became almost a preacher of a new religion. But what Dr. Richardson said in those logs, in a strange way, made a little iota of sense. When the Marine joined Chaldea, he also appeared out of nowhere, back in the Fuyuki Singularity, when they needed someone like him the most, and the enemy they faced were also demons too, just like in the dimension he came from. And how he punished the Khan Maker and her lackeys for the unholy pact they had with the legions of hell. Practically destroying their homeworld of Urdak almost convinced her too. Maybe he really was a personification of mankind's power, and maybe he really was their guardian angel. Oma, no, no, no. Her words almost convinced me too. He's definitely from somewhere and is a human by all intents and purposes, not a god. And the Semper Fi bit he said is no coincidence either. But is he really the Outlander that became the Doom Slayer from the Ligra Sultagenta, or someone else? She stopped her ravings, shaking her head to get back to work. The last log made by the Ark spoke of the demons beginning to amass in swarms near Gorn nests, that this was an indication of an arrival, a super predator, a world eater. She watched the video feed from Urdak and the battle between the Marine and the Khan Maker, which ended in his victory over her and the end of the reign of terror of the Makers. But there was still that gigantic creature. What Hayden said, it was the icon of sin, the very incarnation of all mankind's sins, according to him at least, to deal with. Before watching the battle, she decided to research a little about the icon. The intel was scarce, but it said the icon was also a titan, but a much dangerous one. The mere presence of it damages the structures of reality by his presence alone. If it was left unchecked, the icon's presence would create a black hole that would drag the entire universe down to hell, where it would be absorbed by the Dark Realm. The mere thought of the creature having this much power would drive Olga mad if she wasn't a type of AI now. Still, it was a creature of immense power, and she was grateful that they didn't have to deal with something like this. The last part of the intel said only the Doom Slayer, prophesied in Argena legend to stand alone against the icon, could defeat it. It was time for her to watch the last part of the video footage of the Hell on Earth incident. She breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, this was the end. Olga saw enough, alongside Roman. The Hell Priests, the state of Earth during the invasion, the horrible demons the Marine had to deal with, the moment when the Marine broke the sacred law of the Sentinels and broke the alliance they had for time immemorial, just to save Earth. It was quite the experience. She called for Roman over the comm channel, and minutes later, he was at the door of their office. He immediately understood what she called him for and, entering the office, picked a chair and sat down, waiting for the video to start. Olga immediately clicked on the video feed icon, showing the top of a destroyed building. Soon, the icon of sin emerged and slammed its two armored fists on the building, shaking it. The beast was massive. Easily, it was the biggest creature they ever saw, its goat head casting an oppressive, primal fear on the two. Now is the time. Two titans meet, as it was written. They couldn't recognize the voice over the icon's deafening roar, and the battle between the Marine and the icon begun. First, he needed to destroy the armor the Khan Maker bestowed upon the icon, before killing it. The icon was relentless, launching barrage upon barrage of fireballs from the center of its skull, via a pentagram that appeared every time he used any sort of magic attack. And the Marine had to dodge the icon's massive fists too, which the demon frequently used in order to smash Doomguy. And to make matters worse, the arena was flooded with demons of all types, summoned by the icon to distract Doomguy and make him more vulnerable to his attacks. But that didn't matter for the Marine. He was even more unstoppable than the icon, killing any demon he saw in front of him in flash, using his full arsenal and abilities against the. Dr. Roman and Olga even got a glimpse of the upgraded BFG 9000, the Unmaker, and the almighty Crucible, the Sentinel's weapon of legend. Soon, the icon had most of its armor destroyed, revealing the leathery skin and goat features of the demon. Seeing this, it opened a giant portal and the icon went through it, going to another location. Without hesitation, Doomguy pursued the creature, jumping into the portal. Once again, they were on another rooftop of a massive building, the icon waiting for him. This was the final battle. Just like before, the demon summoned more demons to aid it in combat, tried to smash Doomguy with his arms, and circled the rooftop while releasing a barrage of hellfire against the Marine. But this didn't faze Doomguy in the slightest. He appeared to be even stronger than before, attacking both the icon and its demon with unmatched ferocity. Now, every time he shot Icon, pieces of its flesh fell off, revealing bones and organs beneath the leathery skin. After what felt like hours of fighting, the demon finally fell, trying to use the rooftop as a support for its massive body, completely out of breath, and with the brain exposed for a final attack, which the Marine did, jumping on a platform, igniting the crucible, jumping once again on the Icon's arms, and he jumped one last time, landing on the brain of the demon and burying the blade of the crucible on it. Doomguy broke off the blade of the weapon, leaving it buried on the brain of the demon. As a blue wave of energy traveled through the body of the creature, the icon let out a final painful roar and fell on the rooftop, its head missing the Marine by millimeters as he stood in front of the demon. The destroyed demon fell off the rooftop and disappeared from view. The Marine went to the border of the rooftop and looked down to see the icon's body disintegrating on the ground below. The Marine walked on the rooftop of the building, as the sky of Earth getting clear and the demonic corruption was disappearing. A voice, ancient and powerful, said these last words before the video ended. And you'll be their savior. Your strength will be their shield, and your will, their sword. You remain unbroken, for your fight is eternal. Both were impressed with Doomguy's accomplishments. He really did save Earth from hell and anyone who dared lay a finger on humanity. Olga knew at this moment that he was the one fit for the task ahead of them. Doctor, I am speechless. I knew the guy was impressive, but this is something else entirely. There's no one who can measure what he has done. And that's only the things we saw him do, and the things from before the recorded events. I'm starting to think that our friend may be a divine spirit in disguise. The director snapped her head back abruptly upon hearing this from Roman. Oime, do you think he really is some sort of god or divine being? Dear, that was more of a joke, but after what I saw, maybe? Do you remember what both the con maker and Floro said about him? A human, once immortal. That gives at least the hint of him being immortal and maybe have some sort of divine power within, but who really knows? Suddenly, Roman's face turned pale, and he stopped talking after he looked at the director's computer. The sudden change in his mood concerned Olga. Roman, what's the matter? Did something happen? Dr. Yes, actually. We'll have a big one soon. Oime, what? What do you mean by soon? Dr. Everything that you did before I came here and now was just broadcasted to the entire facility. You can see it by yourself. We'll have a lot of explanations to give to the servants. Olga panicked and looked on her computer, and Roman was right. Someone had hacked it and transmitted everything she did from morning until now to the entire fortress. Only one person could have done that. Oime, it was Hayden. But why? Why would just do something like this? We don't need servants fearing or worshipping the Marine. We need a focused and well-behaved personnel. Dar, I don't know what were his motive for doing this, but we must embrace ourselves for the oncoming onslaught. Soon, the two heard multiple knockings on the door of her office. The time for the due explanations had arrived. At Metis Island, Okeanos, 1573, 1,200 hours. Leaving the portal behind, the Marine and Jean found themselves on the beach of an island, in the middle of the ocean, with only the endless sea surrounding them. At least this was the case with Doomguy, which wasn't true for Jean. She appeared to be in another place, her eyes vacant. The Marine waving his hand in front of her face, to no avail. But after shaking her by her shoulder for a little bit, she woke up from her stupor. JDA, oh, I'm sorry, Marine. Where are we? DG, inside the singularity, on an island in the middle of nowhere, to be precise. JDA, I see. Sorry if I worried you. I had the strangest daydream I ever had. DG, do you remember anything about it? JDA, very clearly. I was inside a strange temple when I suddenly kicked a wooden door open and looked around at something or someone, and I found it. It looked like a withered old man, but his eyes were bloodshot red, with only black pupils inside them. I rushed towards him with incredible speed and grabbed him by the neck with my own hands and started to crush his windpipe. He said something in a low-pitched, demonic voice about his soul remaining guarded, but when I showed him a silver medallion with your emblem on it, he started panicking, and when I was about to kill him, I had a vision of somewhere else. I only saw two men dressed in a similar manner to the I was killing, and when one grabbed a strange helmet, the vision ended. The head of the man from before was in my hands. I even adjusted the crown he was wearing. The dream ended after you started shaking me around. DG, that wasn't a daydream. That really happened. JDA, wait a minute, how? What are you saying? I don't remember doing this to anyone. DG, and you're correct. You never did this, I did. JDA, so that means I was experiencing your memories. Is that even possible? It felt so real. I even saw my own hands killing that man in a dream. DG, yes, actually. Servants can experience the memories of their masters in the form of dreams. At least, this is what Dr. Roman and the book say, even though we have a different relationship than a master/servant. JDA, so who was that man? DG, you've killed Dignilox, a Hell Priest. He was one of the 3 Hell Priests responsible for the Hell invasion of Earth. He loved to capture civilians, and while they were still alive, he would torture and harvest their still living blood for his occult rituals. He deserved it. JDA, he really did. Wretched creature. Dr. Roman interrupted their conversation, calling the two via the comms systems of the Pretor suit. DR, testing the connection and video feed. Excellent. I can see you too. Good morning. JDA, morning, Dr. Roman. DG, so doctor, where are we supposed to go now? DR, you see, I and Dr. Hayden have quite a surprise for you too. You can stay where you are. Dr. Hayden, it's your cue now. SH, greetings. As Dr. Roman briefly talked, we have quite the surprise development for both of you. After studying it for a while, and being able to harvest the energy of the singularity and using the power of the ray shift teleport technology, we can now displace objects to your location. It's still on testing, but we figured we could try to help you two out. Look in front of you. A present shall appear at any moment if everything goes according to plan. Dr. Roman, you can start to try and ray shift their present. They did as Hayden instructed, and Doomguy and Jean started to look in front of them. At first, nothing appeared to be out of the ordinary. Then, a massive, silver-black warship started to appear in front of them. It looked futurist in design, and on its hull, it had a Chaldea and US flag stamped on it. And the same thing applied to the mainmast, where the 2 flags swayed in the wind. It had many high-tech weapons on its deck, similar to the ones used in the defense of the UAC Phobos moonbase, and what appeared to be the main cannon of the ship, which resembled the BFG-10K on a much smaller scale. JDA, is that a ship? It looks very different from the ones back in Rome. SH, what you see before you is the USS Apollo, the first and only ship of the Olympus class, developed exclusively by the UAC for the U.S. Navy. It was supposed to be one of the flagships of the U.S. Navy, alongside its sister ship, the USS Artemis, which still was being constructed at the time of the Hell invasion of Earth. The Apollo then became the personal escort of the mobile command carrier after the U.S. Armed Forces joined the ARC, the Armored Response Coalition. It's also the only ship equipped with BFG-type weaponry, alongside the Cyclone torpedoes it carries. Since it's powered by an Argent energy-based reactor, so you should have enough fuel for your voyage. It also appears that we almost fried all the systems here in the fortress, so that should indicate we still have a lot of work to do. After knowing this last piece of information, the Marine sighed, and his humor suddenly changed for the worse, which Jean dully noted. SH, I know you don't like using Argent, Marine, but the situation requires it. And before you ask, when the singularity closes, the ship will return back to its original place in time and space. Do not worry about it. That would be all from me. Dr. Roman, you could take over from here. Good luck, Marine. DR, you two heard him. Board the ship, and let's go sail this lost ocean. I'll lower the ramp for you to embark on the vessel. A ramp soon came sliding down from the Apollo, inviting the Marine and Jean to embark on the ship. The two went up the ramp, and when they set up their feet on the ship's deck, the ramp retracted in a flash. Jean was amazed at seeing such a gigantic and beautiful ship, and she looked all around. While Jean was touring around the ship, Doomguy, using his Pretor suit to interface with the basic AI of the ship, and got the map of it, highlighting the points of interest for them. The armory had a weapon the Marine was very interested in, many plasma rifles. The only downside was that they were equipped with a microwave beam mod. When they get back to Chaldea, he'll ask Da Vinci if she can improve this mod in some way. After the Marine toured around the ship with Jean, they took off to the bridge to start up the ship and set sail. Arriving at the bridge, Jean sat down on the captain's chair, while the Marine tinkered around the consoles, starting up all the important systems. Minutes later, the Apollo set sail, sailing through the sea without problems. After some minutes of silence, the Marine asked Jean a question, out of the blue. Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, Iron Maiden. DG, Jean. JDA, yes, Marine. Do you need anything? DG, no. I just wanted to ask you if you ever heard about the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. JDA, no, I don't know about it. What is it? Is it a book? Doomguy tossed a little tome into Jean's lap, and she quickly picked up and looked at its cover. The same name the Marine mentioned was in the cover, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. JDA, this is a little small for a book, don't you think, Marine? DG, that's because it's a poem, written by the English poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The longest major poem in English literature, to be more specific. JDA. It must be a beautiful poem then. What is it about? DG. It's about a guest at a wedding being stopped by an old seaman, the mariner of the title. I won't spoil the rest of the poem for you, but I'll think you like it. That's why I brought this with me, to give it to you. Even a song was written based on the poem. I'll play it for you. The Marine removed his helmet, and he put it on top of one of the consoles while pressing a button inside of it. JDA. Thank you, Master. I'll treasure it. Also, where you'll play the song. From the Marine's helmet, she heard the voice of a man, singing what appeared to be the beginning of the poem. She immediately started reading the tome, and as the song progressed, she used a little book to accompany it. The poem changed its mood many times during its duration. First, the crew of the ship was joyful by journeying through the seas. Then it was dread and fear after the mariner killed the albatross, and its curse spread on the ship, where the crew blamed the mariner by their misfortune, and they tied the dead bird body around the mariner's neck. Jean could almost feel the dread and despair of the crew, with an insatiable thirst and no water to drink, and the fact they were stuck in the middle of the sea for days. Then their fear when the ghost ship carrying death and nightmare life in death rolled the dice for the crew souls. Death won the crew souls, and nightmare life in death won the mariner's soul, with him belonging to her now. While she was reading the book and listening to the song, Jean heard the Marine was singing the song while standing watch over the ship's window. Jean got closer to him, and both started singing the song. DG and JDA. The pilot's boat, his son, and the hermit, penance of life will fall onto him. And the ship it sinks like lead into the sea, and the hermit shrives the mariner of his sins. The mariner's bound to tell of his story, to tell this tale wherever he goes, to teach God's word by his own example, that we must love all things that God made. And the wedding guest a sad and wiser man. And the tale goes on and on and on. As they were singing the ending of the song, the Apollo entered a thick fog and disappeared inside it, with an albatross following their ship. Pirate Island, Okeanos, 1573, 0900 hours. After one day of discussing literature, songs, and other matters, the Marine and Jean finally exited the fog their ship entered, and on the radar, Doomguy saw they were coming closer to a landmass, another island from what he could make out in the distance. He made the Apollo go a little faster, and soon, they approached the island. On the shores of the island, a group of pirates was having a party, drinking and fighting each other. But when they saw the massive ship approaching the beach, they started shouting and shooting their flintlock pistols against the Apollo. The bullets simply bounced off the hull of the ship, not even scratching the paint job. After the Apollo stopped on the beach, the Marine and Jean jumped from the deck of the ship, and in a blink of the eye, they rounded the group of pirates and subdued them, leaving only one still conscious for proper interrogation. PT1. Hey, give us a break, strangers. We didn't mean any harm to you. It was just our instincts as pirates, okay? DR. What a poor excuse for a pirate. First, you shoot their ship, trying to attack them, and then you try to act like it was some sort of joke? I thought pirates were supposed to be braver than this. PTE1. Who said that? Is that a ghost with you? DG. Where's your captain? PTE1. By captain, you mean the boss? Right, fella? JDA, answer the question first. PTE1. Okay. The boss in our camp, deep in this jungle. I'll guide you there, just don't kill me, please. DG. Lead the way then. JDA. You've heard him, let's move. The pirate got up and gestured for the Marine and Jean to follow him into the jungle ahead. Doomguy kept a close eye on the grunt to make sure he wasn't leading them to any sort of trap. But his mere presence and the super shotgun made the man shiver every time he looked behind to see if the two strangers were still following him. The pirate suddenly started to whisper something to himself, which Doomguy and Jean could clearly hear from where they were following him. PT1. Ha. You guys are done for. When our boss gets a hold of you too, you'll be... A voice Doomguy didn't hear often made her presence to be noticed by the pirate, who was now scared beyond belief by it. LDV, that kind of static won't work on these two, you know? You'll have to work on that grunt act of yours for hundreds of years if one even have a chance of scaring them. Digi, Da Vinci? That's a surprise. LDV, hello. So, did you like our present? It almost fried every electric system on the fortress, but it was worth it for me. JDA, we like it very much, Miss Da Vinci. It's a beautiful ship. LDV, I'm glad to hear that. I'm also glad to see you two are doing well. Just don't let this big-mouthed pirate intimidate you. Digi, we'll be fine. Both of us have seen worse things to be afraid of silly, empty threats. PTE1. Empty threats, huh? Our boss isn't a wimp. Listen and be amazed. Our boss is none other than Francis Drake, the greatest, most glorious pirate on the high seas. DG. JDA. Just take us there. We don't have time to waste. A more familiar voice came over the Preter's suit comms. DR. Wait for a minute, guys. If he's the real Drake, he's probably a living being. He's the first voyager in history to sail around the globe and live to tell the tale. England received a great fortune from his actions. They bested Spain, who had been dominating the world's seas. Spain was once touted as the sun that never sets. But even the Spaniards feared him, the El Drac, the hero who brought down the sun. The prosperity of the British Empire wouldn't be possible without Captain Drake. Though Drake was officially sanctioned by the state as a corsair, a pirate is still a pirate. Judging from behavior of pirates we've met so far, odds are high that he's a good-for-nothing thug. JDA, don't worry, Doctor. We can deal with him if the need arises. Right, Marine? DG, correct. We'll only beat him, not kill him. DR, if you say so. Still, take care. Pirates can be a devious bunch. After an hour of walking in the jungle, they finally arrived at the camp, the hideout of Francis Drake. The pirates looked at Doomguy and Jean with different expressions. Some had fear in their eyes, others showed distrust in them, and the rest were curious about the two armored warriors. The pirate guiding them stopped at what the Marine assumed was Drake's personal barack. The pirates started to pound on the door, shouting, PT-1, boss. We got enemies. Guest boss. Boss. A woman's voice came from inside the barack, also shouting. Immediately, the Marine knew what was about to ensue, given past circumstances. FD, the hell? Geez, right when I'm in a good mood from this good rum. Guests, huh? Are they pirates? PTE-1. On the contrary, boss. They arrived on a massive ship, and before we even knew, they rounded our group up and subdued them, leaving only me conscious. They're much stronger than anyone we've ever met. FD. Huh. What the hell are you even saying? Well then, are they part of some government? Or perhaps they're bounty hunters? PTE-1. I don't think so, boss. And it's not a good idea to keep them waiting, that's for sure. FD. Fine, bring them in. I'll unlock the door for you. After the sound of a key sliding into a lock, the pirate turned the doorknob and they entered the room. This room was filled with maps on a table in the middle of it, and a flintlock pistol also rested on top of it. Bottles of rum were scattered on the floor, and Jean almost tripped into one. Sitting on a wooden chair was a woman wearing a typical pirate's attire. She had pink hair, blue eyes, and a scar ran across her face. FD, I see that you took good care of my boys. I am Francis Drake. So where are you two from? JDA, we're from Chaldea. I'm Jean Dark, and this the Marine. FD, Chaldea, what do the stargazers want with us? Are they here to sell us some new maps of constellations? DR, so Francis Drake was also a lady. Still, how does she know about us? And she even knows how the organization started. DG, even though she's completely drunk, she knows more than what we assumed before. FD, I don't like that little ghost fella you've got there, sir. Cowardly, gutless, pessimistic. A good man in the end, but a scaredy cat. I hate people like that the most. DG, JDA, I mean she's not wrong. DR, hey, I heard that. FD, so what do your organization want with me? DG, we're here to close the anomaly, the singularity. You must have noticed something is wrong with this place, especially with the ocean. FD, so what? That's not a bad thing at all. JDA, what? Have you heard what you just said? Jean wanted to pummel Drake, but the Marine put his hand on her left shoulder and she calmed down. Jean knew he must have a way to deal with her. DG, don't waste your energy with her, Jean, and I feel you'll get the opportunity you want very soon. FD, this isn't a bad thing. There's no other world that's as fun as this one. Isn't that right, you scumbags? PTE-1, woohoo, you bet. You're the best, boss. Here, to never-ending rum. DG, you wish for this world to stay like this, Captain Drake? FD, you're right about that, stranger. You see what I mean? We, pirates, long for freedom, even if it entails evil deeds. If you insist on speaking with me, you must pass some tests first. Try and defeat me, Francis Drake. Then we could talk. I'm as drunk as they come right now. Let's see if you have what it takes to sober me up. DR, I guess too much freedom is sometimes a bad thing. Just like you did on the beach with those pirates. Just defeat them. DG, we've got this, Doctor. JDA, let this drunk a lesson, Marine. Drake tried to reach for her flintlock pistol, but in a split second, the Marine was right beside her. He kicked the table with such force it flew away, scattering everything that was on top of it all around the barack, and the table destroyed the wall in front of it, opening a big hole in it. The Marine immediately punched Drake right in the face, only with enough force to stagger her and send her stumbling towards Jean, who proceeded to beat her down using the backside of her lance as a club. This went back and forth for quite some time, with Drake receiving a thorough beating by the duo. The pirate finally gave up. Even though she was strong, she was no match for the combined strength of those two strangers. Her lackey wasn't wrong when he said they were on another level than anyone else they ever fought against before. FDR, that hits the spot. Rum's got nothing on this, I'm telling you. JDA, even though we've beaten her, she still wants to keep going. And I feel a familiar coming from her. Is she really a human? DR, positively. And you're not wrong, too. I'm also getting a magical energy reading from her. So she's either a mage or a hero from birth, perhaps? Did you? I don't think so. My hunch with Nero proved to be false. She's a human, but there's something else at work here. PTE1, hey boss, you alright? FD, ha ha ha. What are you talking about? I'm alright. Never felt better. That aside, though, seems that I lost to you, stranger. You can boil me, fry me, sleep with me, anything you want. DG, I'll pass. FDO? I see. In that case, I guess it can't be helped. Anyway, a loss is a loss. I'll hear you guys out. But you know what? From the looks of it, you want to ride, don't you? You're looking for something, but are unfamiliar with these seas. That's why you need to rely on me, pirate or not. DG, we have our own ship already. We've just stumbled upon your island by accident. FD, still, I've lost, and I'm not going to let you leave with empty hands. All right then, we've surrendered to you, green stranger. Then, by default, we're officially part of your crew. How about we start off with a toast? Take good care of us. JDA, Marine, I don't think this will end well. Help me. DG, it won't. Just stay close to me, I'll handle them. DR, huh? What those readings I'm getting? DG, what's the matter, doctor? DR, must be an error on my part. Don't worry about it. FD, let's drink. Come with me, you too. Drake exited her barack via the hole the Marine made after kicking her table into the wall and started to shout orders to her men. She wanted them to organize a feast immediately for their commander, Doomguy, and his companion. The man obeyed the orders from Drake without question, diligently preparing tables and food for the upcoming party. 2 hours later, the pirates completed their task, and everyone sat on the tables, with the Marine and Jean sitting on a table prepared especially for them, with many treats and tasty foods ready to be eaten. Doomguy wasn't really in a mood for a party, and neither Jean, but they decided to go along with their pirate shenanigans until Drake and her men had their fill. Until the sun was setting on the horizon, the two watched the pirates celebrate, drink, and eat in large quantities. Some even fought amongst themselves, given how drunk they were by this point. Still, Jean was satisfied that her master appeared to be in a much better mood. The Marine was still very cold and serious, but she could feel he was getting warmer, little by little, at least with her. When they had just finished their meal, Captain Drake was passing by their table. Good, because they had a singularity to close and no time to waste anymore. Doomguy got out his chair and stopped Drake dead in her tracks. FD, all right, men. To our two new comrades, the Mariner and Jean. Huh, wait, that's backward. To their new companions, us. Cheers. JDA. It's Marine, not Mariner. DG. Captain Drake, we stayed here long enough. We have a lot of work to do. FD. You're the captain now, Mariner. And what's with the cold look? You'll never find treasure with an attitude like that. DG. We came here not to find treasure, but to close off this singularity. JDA. Tell us all you know about the area. FD, huh? Oh, you're right. I just remembered. These waters are abnormal, right? I mean, I've seen superhumans walking around who won't even budge from can of fire. DG. Servants, you mean? FD. Being a pirate myself, see, I've been through my share of chaos. I can usually tell when it's something bad and unavoidable. These waters are abnormal. One moment we're in a jungle, the next we're in a temperate Mediterranean climate. The currents and winds are a mess too. I mean, even sailing straight out into the sea is tricky. Moreover, there's no continent in this ocean, nor is there in England. DG. These are the anomalies that are contained into this particular singularity. JDA. So that thick fog we passed through with the Apollo was an anomaly too. FD. Hence why we were already planning on a new journey, as soon as we fixed our ship, the Golden Hind. Doesn't make sense for pirates to settle down on land. Gotta find a town to call our home base. But then, you guys showed up out of nowhere. And, apparently, with a working ship too. That's why we decided to throw this pre-party for you, our saviors. DG. Sure. JDA. If we save you, why did you attack us for no reason? FD. It seemed like it would be fun. That's the reason. The Marine shook his head in disapproval of Drake's stupid reasoning. FD. So, since you're the captain now, Mariner, drink up. Let's be friends. From captain to captain. Drake pulled something out of her coat. Both the Marine and Jean recognized the golden cup. JDA. Master, that's a dash. DG. Holy Grail. FD. Why are you staring at me all of a sudden? You see someone you recognize? DG. Where did you get that? That's what we want to know. Doomguy pointed to the golden cup Drake had in her hands. A grin suddenly formed on her face as she waved the Holy Grail with her hand. FD. Ah, you got a fine pair of eyes there. Gold tankards are usually so tasteless, but not this one. It's not just the never-ending booze from it, either. Place it on the table, and behold, it produces endless meat and fish. I just happened to pick it up, but I doubt you'll find anything like this anywhere. PTE1. What are you talking about, boss? This wasn't a coincidence. It was an adventure for several lifetimes. 7 endless nights, giant destructive whirlpools in one ocean after another. And from within the maelstrom, the legendary lost city of Atlantis. The time is upon us. By the 12 gods of Olympus, I shall create another flood and destroy all civilization. That's what the big thing said, right before Boss kicked its ass and seized the treasure. And with that, as crazy as it sounds, she became a hero. She saved the world. FD, huh? Was it really that epic? It got on my nerves, so I have a piece of my mind. That big lug called itself Poseidon. Can't really have that as a sailor. That's why I put it in check and took its treasure. See? I even sank the entire city into the whirlpool. It was great. FD, wahaha. Way to go, boss. Both fortune and misfortune smiled upon you. You're going to be single till the day you die. Or maybe you're actually a dude or something. Who knows? FD, now this is fun. We've got a new ship and captain, and the booze is tasty, and the food is even tastier. But we're taking you in a barrel later and sinking it. Now we sing, you idiots. Sing the cruise theme song. After hearing from Drake this short tale on how she got her hands on the Holy Grail, Jean pulled the Marine to the side and started to whisper in his ear. JDA, shouldn't we call Dr. Roman and tell him that we already found the Grail that's causing the singularity? That our job here is already done. DG, I will call him. Just give me a minute. When Dr. Roman picked up his call, the Marine noticed the annoyed tone on his voice, similar to when he told that something was wrong just after they had beaten Drake down. Whatever was happening was really bothering him. DR, yes, what is it, Marine? Can you get back to me later? The search program is acting up a bit. For some reason, it says the Holy Grail is right in front of you. DG, because it really is in front of us. JDA, he's right, Doctor. I've seen it too. Captain Drake is the one in possession of the Grail. DR, what? Really? Then that means you two have already completed your task in the singularity? This is some intense turn of events. DG, this would appear to be the case. This time, at least. As they were discussing this surprise, the pirates started to fight amongst themselves. One drunk pirate pushed his mate against another pirate, and the two started to argue, raising their voices with each consecutive phrase. When the dispute got heated, the two pirates started to exchange blows, with one blow accidentally hitting another pirate who was passing by. Soon, a massive brawl broke out within Drake's crew, with every single one of her men joining it. Captain Drake noticed it, and after putting the Holy Grail back inside her coat, he asked for the Marines' help to stop the brawl. FD, and now they're fighting. Looks like we have to stop them. Since you're the captain now, you should teach them a good lesson, Mariner. When she blinked her eyes, the stranger wasn't in front of Drake anymore. When she turned around, in the direction of where the brawl was happening, Drake saw the Mariner kick one of the pirates with only enough force to send him flying towards the group of fighting men, disrupting the brawl. Some of the men tried to attack him, only to receive a right or left hook right in their jaws, making them fall to the ground unconscious. After a good few minutes, the brawl had completely stopped, with Drake's pirates cowering at the mere sight of the Mariner, and with a glance from him, they started to tend to their injured and incapacitated companions. Damn, he's really good at brawling. And such strength too. That's impressive. Drake was thinking to herself. After he took care of this, the Marine went back to Drake to take care of business. DG, with that out of the way, we'll need the Holy Grail you have, Captain Drake. FD Holy Grail? Taking it out of her coat again, Drake showed the Holy Grail to the Marine. FD, you mean this gold tankard? JDA, yes, this one. It was because of it that we came to this singularity in the first place. Once we take it back to our base, this singularity will close and everything will go back to normal. FD, well, I wasn't planning on giving up this tankard anytime soon, but since you have beaten me, fair and square, I can't deny your request. You came here from a distant era, right? Thanks for making the trip. Here, take it. I hope you make good use of it. JDA, thanks for understanding our motives, Captain. Don't worry, we'll take good care of it. Drake gave the Holy Grail to Doom Guy, but after holding it for a minute or two, he knew something wasn't right with it. Jean tilted her head to the side, wondering why her master was looking so intensively at the Grail. Soon, she had the answer as to why he was acting like that. DG, this isn't the Holy Grail we came here to retrieve. JDA, huh? But that means, DR, there's another Grail somewhere in this singularity. Do you remember what Captain Drake said? She snatched the Grail from Atlantis just before the singularity began. While she partly saved this foundation of humanity, she also created a conflict between the Holy Grail brought here by those who destroyed humanity and the Holy Grail rightfully possessed by Drake. As long as Captain Drake is around, this era won't fall. However, it won't return to normal either. DG, which means we'll have to retrieve the foreigner Holy Grail in order to restore this foundation. JDA, I understand now. It really was too good to be true in the end. Jean was a little disappointed, but then she felt a hand touch her shoulder, lightly shaking it. It was her master trying to cheer her up. Don't worry, Jean. We'll take the other grail back with us. And plus, time is not the problem here. JDA, yes, you're right. We can't despair now. And even though time is not a problem, I think we should set sail as soon as possible. DG, understood. Over the comms of the Praetor's suit. However, the Marine could hear a commotion happening. Soon, he heard Da Vinci speak in the comms instead of Roman. LDV, before you go back to your adventure, I would like to ask a few questions to your friend over there, Marine. DG, Da Vinci. LDV, hi to you too. Roman is way too slow for this sort of thing for my liking. So, I'm taking over for some minutes, okay? DG, LDV, great. So, the first thing you'll do is give the grail back to Drake, since she's the rightful owner chose by it. Then, I'll talk to her. Doing as the Da Vinci instructed, Doomguy gave back the Holy Grail to Drake, putting it on one of the many pockets her coat had. FD, I appreciate your courtesy. But oh boy, I've never given up a treasure so easily, or had it returned so easily either. LDV, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you, Francis Drake. I know this may seem very sudden, but do you have a wish? FD, wish? Why are you asking me that, Ghost? LDV, Ghost, huh? That's a new one. Anyway, for example, you're a pirate. You wish to gather all the treasures in the world, do you not? FD, yeah, I suppose I do. So, do I just wish on this grail to have it come true? LDV, correct. Do you intend to wish for all this treasure to be in your possession? FD, of course not. You know I'm a pirate, right? A pirate that gets treasure by praying. That's a bad joke if I ever heard one. Treasure should be won through power, wisdom, and courage. LDV, so that would mean your immediate wish is simply to secure enough water, food, and safety. In other words, you already had that wish granted. FD, given what happened, it's true. I suppose. LDV, the Holy Grail you hold has the power to create this world. However, this ocean is not what you desire, which means something is causing this world to exist. Someone is disrupting your ocean and your era. There's only one thing to be done, right? You need to reclaim your own world. The people next to you, the Marine and Jean, they're to solve that problem. They're professionals who have defeated what you call invincible guys many times already. FD, I see. I think I understand now. Thanks. So who does that make you? LDV, me? I'm Leonardo da Vinci. I died about 20 years before you were born. I'm a genius. FD, I've never heard about you. LDV, really? What a shame. FD, in short, this world is broken after all, which means that there's no treasure after all. LDV, you could be right, but DR, you could be also wrong too. I think there's still a treasure out there. Doomguy heard what appeared to be Dr. Roman shoving Da Vinci to the side on the comms. DG, it's imprudent to say that, Dr. Roman. JDA, very imprudent indeed. How could you know that? DR, I'll better explain what I meant by it. So, in this world and era, pirates are a common thing. For better or worse, the age of exploration was an unavoidable event that expanded the world. The planet's pioneers entrusted their dreams to the unknown seas and the other side of the horizon. And with all those thoughts and desires gathered, I wouldn't be surprised if a treasure really did exist here. Captain Drake's eyes suddenly brightened up, a devious smile forming on her face. The possibility of a great treasure enticed every inch of her body. FD, so it does exist? Enough gold and silver and spices to sink an entire ship? DR, absolutely. Dr. Roman will guarantee that. There's a treasure, for sure. FD, I can't hold it back anymore. I'm fired up as hell. All right, scumbags, let's drink up a storm first. Our voyage tomorrow is going to be one unlike any other. No guarantee we'll return alive, so drink your hearts out. Treasures, riches, spices, tasty booze, and uncharted adventures await us. Drake then put her arms around the Marine's neck and, after drinking from the Holy Grail one more time, points her finger towards him, managing to say a few words before the alcohol from the wine produced by the Grail hits her bloodstream. FD, and I have a feeling you'll be guiding us straight to the treasure, Captain. Open Sea, Okeanos, 1573, 1,100 hours. After giving Doomguy gave a full tour of the Apollo for Drake and her pirates, while also grabbing a plasma rifle for himself during a break. Since the ship was massive and they were still under the effects of a heavy hangover, Drake commanded her men to grab everything they had on the island and loaded it onto their new ship, and soon, the Apollo set sail, leaving behind Drake's hideout. Drake was very impressed with the Apollo, just wondering how a ship made of metal could float in the water. Not only that, but it also had some strange weaponry instead of the traditional cannons. Besides the other bizarre devices, she also noticed the ship also had. She inspected almost every inch of the ship, sometimes even getting lost in its many turns and hallways. Her men had already installed themselves on the crew's personal quarters, recovering from the hangover from the previous night of drinking and fighting. Drake found her way back to the bridge, where the Marine and Jean were looking into the endless that stretched before them. FD, hi, Captain. So where are we going now? Did you find any clues about the treasure your friend spoke about? DG, there's an island not far away from where we are now. We should be arriving there in about an hour. FD, just 1 hour? Is your ship that fast? DG, quite fast. FD, you people from the future never cease to amaze me. So, we can fire the cannons on this thing. JDA, for what purpose we would do that, Captain Drake? FD, to celebrate our successful departure, first mate. Also, if you don't mind, I'll be taking the position of quartermaster on your ship. Is that all right with you, Captain? DG, sure, it's yours. FD, excellent. So are we firing those things or not? DG, asterisco sig, asterisco fine. I'll humor your request, just this once. Doom Guy, after pressing some buttons on the console of the bridge, positioned the main cannon of the Apollo and some of the batteries into a safe position and fired them. The open sea on the left side of the ship was then bombarded by green balls of energy, falling on the water and creating great splashes wherever they landed. Drake's jaw almost dropped. FD, what terrifying firepower this ship possesses. You guys from Chaldea don't mess around, do you? Defit, no. FD, a straight answer. Huh? I'm starting to like being under your command, Mariner. Also, it appears we are arriving at our destination. The island Doom Guy mentioned started to appear in front of the Apollo. At first, only the silhouette, then they could make out the shape it had. It was similar to Drake's island, but it was bigger in size, and some of the trees on it appeared to have been cut by someone or something. As they approached the beach, what appeared to be zombie Vikings were waiting for them. Leaving the bridge, being followed by Jean and Drake, the Marine picked up his rocket launcher and fired it as he jumped from the ship's main deck, with Jean jumping right after him. The rocket hit one of the zombies and exploded, destroying any other zombies nearby. The sound of the explosion woke up Drake's men, who immediately went to the main to see what was happening. As they got closer, Drake stopped them with a wave of her hand. FD, you guys stay here. Only the 3 of us can fight against those guys down there. PTE 2, but boss won't help you. FD, shut up. The only ones who can fight them are me, the captain, and his first mate. PTE 3, then what we should do to help you, boss? FD, do I even need to tell you? You scumbags stay here and protect the ship. I'm going with them to check things out. PTE 1, roger that, boss. We look forward to your return. Descending the ramp that mysteriously stretched itself from the main deck, into the beach of the island, pistol in hand, Drake went to where the fight was happening. To her disappointment, things were already over, as both the Mariner and Jean finished off the last one of those monstrosities. FD, next time, leave some of them for me. Okay, Captain? DG, if you say so. FD, what's our next step then? DG, explore the island. Find anything that could help us, and leave. JDA, that's what we'll be doing. FD, sounds good to me. Let's go. The trio entered the jungle, which was just like the one back at Drake's Island. However, here and there, they passed near a tree that was either cut down or destroyed by something. There wasn't a visible pattern to it, which made Doom Guy think that maybe there's a berserker servant in this island. He decided to ask Jean if she felt the presence of any servants nearby. DG, Jean, JDA, yes, master. I know exactly what you're thinking. The feeling is faint, but I can be sure of this. There's a servant on this island, but I don't know if they're an enemy or not. DG, we should be prepared to fight it. JDA, I agree. We can't be caught off guard. A shot echoed in the forest, interrupting their talk. Both turned their heads to see Captain Drake, with the smoking barrel of her pistol pointing to something to the left side of the forest. DG, did you hit it? FD, not really, but I felt a vague presence, so I took a shot. JDA, why did you do that? You shouldn't act before you think. FD, if you get a bad feeling, shoot first, ask questions later. That's the key to survival, you know? JDA, that's how an imprudent fool thinks. FD, huh? You won't know until you look for yourself. I'll go see if it's dead or not. Drake ran towards the direction where she fired the shot, quickly disappearing in the distance. Jean started to rub her forehead, thinking that maybe it was a bad idea to bring Drake along with them until she heard the Marine's voice in her head. Don't worry, Jean. Let's play it by the book, and everything will be fine. JDA, you're right, Marine. We should hurry before she causes us more trouble, though. DG, that's probably for the best. Let's go. Following the same direction that Drake went, they soon found her. Drake appeared to be intrigued over a stone tablet that was on top of a tree stump. There was also the ashes of a campfire near the tree stump. It reminded the Marine of the campfire they used to do back in France, but also it was an indication that someone rested here. By the looks of it, It has been quite some time since the campfire died out, so the person or thing who did it was long gone by now. Seeing the two, Drake called for them, gesturing for the Marine and Jean to come closer. FD, I think I found a lead to the treasure, Captain. Come take a look. JDA, it appears to be just a stone tablet. FD, that's right. Can you read what's written on it? JDA, is there something written on it? I can't see anything on it. The Marine took the tablet and started to analyze it, running his fingers on the surface of it. DG, she's right. There are some runes carved on this tablet. Dr. Da Vinci, can you see it? LDV, we can see them perfectly. These are relatively new runes. I'd say they were carved within the last week. DR, can you stop doing my job, Da Vinci? That's my job. Don't take it from me. LDV, let's see here. Blood Axe King, once laid to rest, shall awaken once more. That's the general gist of it. But Blood Axe King? Why does that sound familiar? DR, because that's the name of the Viking king that ruled Norway in the 9th century, Eric Bloodaxe. The Marine turns around, dropping the stone tablet in the group, while he took out his plasma rifle, firing it on something that was coming from within the forest. The tablet fell to the ground, and it shattered into many pieces. DG, we have enemies coming from that direction. DR, yep, he's right. And they're coming in fast too. Be careful. FD, yeah, it appears so. I'm getting a very bad vibe here. Get ready for a fight. We're going in. The first to strike is the winner. Here they come. A group of zombie Vikings came from the direction the Marine shot at with his plasma rifle, shouting and screeching at the trio. ZVK, for King Eric, our great and glorious leader. JDA, right? Let's go, Marine. In their eagerness to get closer to the group, many zombies were melted by the stream of plasma balls coming their way, not leaving even bones behind, just a pool of blue and green goo stood in their place. Others simply exploded from the impact of the plasma balls, hurting their companions in the process as they had become living bombs. JDA, that should be the last of them. Great job, Master. DG, you too, Jean. But Drake also helped us out. FD, not really. You almost stole all the fun from me, Mariner. DR, searching surroundings. Nothing detected. The nearby servant signals are not moving. They haven't noticed us? Anyway, you need to get out of there fast. Follow that servant signal, and we should have some answers. DG, we're on it, Doctor. Let's move out. As they continued to traverse through the jungle, the group reached the other side of the island, arriving on another beach. During the entirety of the trek, Captain Drake sniffed the air as if trying to find a specific smell. This strange attitude seemed to really bother Jean, who made sure to keep her distance from Drake, staying by the Marine side all the time. And back on Chaldea, the other servants said the Marine was a strange, eccentric man. Jean thought the exact opposite, viewing him as being more of the reserved, quiet type. That was one of the things she really liked about him. Actually, soon, Jean was snapped out of her thoughts by Drake of all people. FD, sniff, sniff. Treasure, will I get a whiff of that treasure? DG, JDA, I don't think you will, Captain Drake. Not by sniffing, at least. FD, ahaha. You think so, Jean? Treasure does indeed have a scent. JDA, huh? FD, that looks as you don't believe me. All right, let's make a bet. If there's treasure up ahead, like I said, what should we do? I know. How about coming with me on a trip around the world? JDA, I'm not really interested. FD, then you're really bland. When I flee these waters and return to England, with the Apollo and you two by side, I bet I'll be the luckiest pirate ever. You're coming with me, right, Mariner? DG, I'll consider your offer. FD, all right. And if I lose? If I lose? Is there anything else you want? DFI, no. JDA, me neither. FD, really? That's really greedy. You got me there. That's gonna cost you dearly. DG, is that so? FD, what's the problem with you two? You said you have no wishes. That's the most troublesome wish. Because you can't buy items that don't exist. I am, after all, a merchant. If I can't keep my customers happy, then I'll be a third-rate one. And that I will not have. That's why first, I need to get whatever it is you want. But you said you couldn't think of anything. Now, this is going to be a problem. How can I deliver something you don't want? DG, having your assistance is enough already. FD, that's good and all, but that I can do for free. Like I said before, I'm a seller. DR, I see. I'm beginning to understand why this crude outlaw of a woman has that skill. Also, it appears a servant is on the move. Looks like it sensed your presence and is coming to you, bringing some company with it too. JDA, maybe we can talk it out with. Jean's voice is interrupted by a bloodthirsty scream. They, the trio, turned around to see a tall, shirtless man and some more Viking zombies coming their way. The man appeared to have horns on his head and wielded a crude axe made of stone that he swung around indiscriminately. This must have been the berserker servant Doom guy since back in the jungle and the one responsible for destroying all those trees. And he also noticed that the enemy group came from a large Viking ship that was docked on the beach of the isle. As he was approaching the group, They could hear the mad whispers the horn muttered to himself. Gaga gaga gaga. Jijijijij thigh. Am I? My name. Eric. The Grand. Eric. Gago. Kill. Kill anyone in the way. Kill. Kill. Jijijii. FD. I don't think he wants to negotiate anything with us. JDA. And you would be right. DG. I'll take care of this guy. JDA. Right, master. Give him a good beating. DG. I will. FD. That's what I'm talking about. Vikings from Norway. They're like our ancestors, you know. I'll pay my respects, but also give him a dose of reality. Mariner, this is how we say in the pirate world. Shut up, you bearded freak. The old needs to retire. Right after she said, the two men clashed, with the mariner drawing out some strange yellow instrument that had a serrated blade and made a strange sound just by being held by the mariner. When the serrated blade of the instrument made contact with Eric's crude axe, 1,000 sparks came out of it, alongside an ear-piercing noise. Each time they traded blows, parts of Eric's axe were being chipped away by the blade of the Marine's chainsaw. Soon, Eric's axe was torn apart from a heavy strike dealt by the Marine, leaving Eric defenseless and baffled. Before he could think of what to do next, an armored boot hit his chin, and Eric stumbled backwards. Next, it was a fist right to face, so strong that it knocked some of his teeth right out of his mouth. The Marine proceeded to beat down Eric until he couldn't pose a threat to the group anymore. Completely defeated, Eric fell to his knees, and his body started to disappear. Even in his last moments, Eric still continued with his ravings of pure madness. Ebe, yi, ga, ga, ga. Not giving it to you. It's mine. It is mine, but... As Eric's body was dissolving, the Marine remembered that he used to be in the same state as him after he arrived in Argent Nur, countless years after he killed the mother demon and decided to stay in hell forever, to make sure no demon would ever threaten anyone anymore. The divinity machine had its advantages after all. He was snapped back to the present as someone called out for him. It appeared that Jean and Drake had finished off the zombie Vikings already. JDA. Marine? Is everything all right? You were out for almost 5 minutes. DG. I'm Ufine. FD. You sure? You were just standing there doing nothing like you've seen a ghost or something. Are you really okay? DG. Yes, I am. Don't worry. FD. Whatever you say. Let's go. We have a Viking ship to explore. JDA. Wait a minute. Before Jean could protest further, Drake darted for the Viking ship ahead of them. The Marine and Jean immediately followed her, since they didn't know if any enemies remained after their previous encounter. When they arrived near the ship, Drake had already boarded it, and she appeared to be looking for something, moving anything out of her way. When Drake saw the duo at the shore, she started waving to get their attention. FD, see the ship? It's probably the one that Eric was on. DR, and it's just a larger version of the ships the Vikings used back in their time. But instead of being a replica in a museum, it's the real deal straight from the 9th century. FD, that I already know. I'm talking about treasure, and I've found one. Drake jumped from the ship and landed back on the beach. In her hand, she had an old, leathery book. It had the same type of runes from the stone tablet they found previously scribbled all over it, alongside what appeared to be a crude world map inside of it. JDA, it's the treasure you found in that ship? FD, it sure is. You see, when sailing, Vikings record everything from the starting point to the destination using pictures and glyphs. Coast shapes, shoal spots, current traits, and paths. If they appeared here out of the blue, that's one thing. But if they sailed here, yes, I smell fresh ink. This must be the chart for this island and its surroundings. There's no better treasure for us since we're about to set sail into the seas, right? DG, it should make our job navigating through this singularity easier. JDA, you're right, Captain Drake. You may act rashly, but you're also very pragmatic. FD, impressed, huh? Now, how about that trip around the world? DG, we'll think about it after our task here is completed. FD, I see. With you guys, our strength would be 100-fold. We'll depart after making sure we have enough food and water. Now, it's time to return to the ship. As they were making the return trip back to the Apollo, Jean asked her master why he didn't tell Drake what happens when a singularity is closed. JDA, Marine, you remember what happens when we correct a singularity, right? Her memories will be completely wiped out. DG, I know, but I didn't lie to her either. When the time comes, I'll tell her the truth. JDA, I suppose you're right. For now, let's focus on the path ahead. Back at the bridge of the Apollo, Drake opened the book and told the Marine where their next stop would be. FD, now, according to the Viking map, there's an island to the northwest of here. Even with the speed Apollo Great Speed, it'll take quite the time to get there. DG, Dr. Roman, did you get the data you needed? DR, I sure did. Thanks for your patience. JDA, let's hope we'll arrive at our destination safely. I'll pray for a safe trip. FD, so what are you waiting for, Captain? All right, you scallywags. Time to set sail. After Doomguy pressed the buttons on the console, the Apollo started to move again. Soon, the ship reached its full speed, sailing vigorously through the sea of the singularity, ready to take the group to their next destination. Map dial, Okeanos, 1573, 1,400 hours. As the Apollo was cruising through the ocean, Jean decided she would ask the Marine a question about something that has been bothering her ever since Rome. She didn't want to pry in his past more than she had to, but her curiosity wouldn't leave her alone. Plus, she genuinely cared about him and wanted to know more about him too. Doomguy was monitoring the vessel status on the bridge when Jean suddenly appeared on his left side. JDA, Marine, can we discuss something? DG, sure, go ahead. JDA, back in Rome, before we fought against that demon god Pillar, he mentioned something about makers. What he was on about? DG, do you still remember when I told you about the civil war in Argenta? JDA, yes, and the essence drinkers too. DG, they were the reason the war even happened in the first place. The makers were worshipped as divine beings back in Argent-Nur, but they were actually a race of extra-dimensional beings, led by a Khan maker, the mightiest amongst them. They disguised themselves as heavenly beings, but it was just a ruse to make others submit to their belief system. They may have a long lifespan, but they were very mortal, just like human beings. JDA, then why did the Civil War start? What did they do? DG, the essence drinkers were those who used Argent energy. We were at war against the legions of hell for years, but behind our backs, the Order of the Deeg, under the orders of the Khan Maker, started to research the demons. Soon, they found out the essence from the demons' bodies combined with Sentinel energy created Argent energy. The Khan Maker wanted more Hell essence to produce even more Argent energy. And so, a bargain was struck between the Khan Maker herself and the Dark Lords of Hell. After the Order of Deeg used slave labor to construct the Soul Spires, and as long as Hell continued to send Argent energy to Urdak, and no demon would ever set foot on Urdak, and no Maker would ever come to Hell, the Khan Maker would not interfere with their affairs. JDA, and what are those Soul Spires? DG, that's the question I was hoping you would never ask me. JDA, why do you say that? DG, because it involves where the essence comes from and what happens inside the Soul Spires. Do you still wish to know? JDA, yes I. Drake suddenly bursts into the bridge, interrupting Jean. Inside, the Marine was grateful that they were interrupted. He didn't want Jean's innocence to be taken away from her by the horrifying truth behind Argent energy. FD, sorry to interrupt your chat, Mariner, but we're approaching the island marked on the Vikings map. Get ready for another adventure. DG, Roger. I'll begin the docking procedures right away. After the Apollo successfully docked on the beach of the Isle, Doomguy and Jean went directly to the deck of the ship, where Drake was waiting for them with a member of her crew. FD, strange. JDA, is there a problem, Captain Drake? FD, there's one, actually. Yes, the air tastes different here. JDA, is that so? FD, in different countries and lands, the air changes in flavor. The distance between England and France aside, when you travel to a new continent, the air really tastes differently. DR, perhaps Miss Drake can detect changes in the wind due to differences in temperature and currents? FD, what's this Miss Drake business? You sound creepy when you put it that way, Mr. Ghost. DR, sorry. Please excuse me, Captain Drake. Ahem, Marine Jean. What Drake says may be correct. Your current location has obviously different temperatures and currents than the previous island. With a little more time, I'm sure we could determine exactly where you are. DG, perhaps multiple parts of the world were melded together when this singularity was created. DR, I like that theory. That would explain the sudden changes in temperature and such. I'll work on it. PTE 5, boss. You should see this. There's a ship to the northwest. Drake looked in the direction her subordinate was gesturing at. She saw the other ship, docked very near to where the Apollo was currently. PTE 5, and I never saw their Jolly Roger before too, boss. FD, so they must be an enemy. Mariner, Jean, get ready. It's time to get to work. Huh? Drake turned around to see that both the Mariner and Jean were simply gone. Next, she heard the sounds of what appeared to be a fight coming from the beach, just below the deck of the Apollo. Looking down at the beach, Drake saw the duo already fighting a group of what appeared to be undead pirates. The Mariner was holding what appeared to be a double-barreled blunderbuss to her. The sound the blunderbuss made when he fired it was deafening and could be heard from anywhere. The havoc wreaked by the gun upon the enemy was also impressive, with one blast eliminating 4 undead pirates at once. The Mariner then reloaded it instantly and fired it again. Jean was right at his side, cutting in half any monstrosity in her line of sight with her lance, at an amazing speed. Not wanting to miss the fun, Drake jumped from the deck of the ship to the beach, landing on top of one of the undead. She fired her pistol, aiming for the head of the monster, killing it. Minutes later, All the undead were destroyed, and Drake ordered one of her men to go and board the other ship and bring its flag back to her. FD. Phew. It appears we took care of them. That'll teach them to not mess with us. JDA. Both sides were clear, Marine. DG. They shouldn't bother us. For a while, at least. PTE 3. Boss, here's their Jolly Roger. Also, there wasn't anyone aboard that ship. FD. Strange. Even stranger is this flag. I've never seen anything like this before. Hey, Captain, can your personal scholar help us here? DR. You have just asked right away, you know that? Welp, I'll see if we have anything about this flag on our records. DG. Thanks in advance, Doctor. DR. No problem. Catch you guys later. After he closed the comm channel with Chaldea, the Marine felt someone was tugging at his left arm. It was Jean, who was eagerly waiting for what would be their next move. JDA. What we should do now, Marine? DG. Explore the island, find anything that can lead us to the Foreign Grail, and get out. FD. Exactly what I was thinking. You just need the treasure hunting part. Drake turned to face her subordinates, barking orders at them. FD. You guys go back to ship and protect it at all costs. PTE 2. Yes, boss. After Drake's men returned to the Apollo, the trio entered the island properly. Instead of a jungle, like the previous two isles, this one appeared to have tall grass and a more flat type of terrain, which made traversing the island a lot faster. Soon, the group reached a small mountain, from where they could see a huge, wide prairie that seemed to stretch for miles. Jean seemed to be a little nostalgic after seeing this beautiful scenery. DG. Feels like we're back in France. JDA. In Rome too. FD. I don't know what you two are talking about, but this place is huge. Hard to imagine we're on an island. This breeze is amazing. While they were admiring the scenery, something was emerging from the ground behind them. The monster went straight for Doomguy, but before it could even lay a single finger of its bony hands on him, the creature was turned into pieces by the Marine's super shotgun, which he fired from under his right arm, without even looking. The sudden blast scared Jean and Drake, with Drake almost having stroke. She clutched her chest and started swearing, while Jean questioned his unexpected action. JDA. Master, why did you? Oh, that's why. FD. What was that for? You almost killed me with that hand cannon of yours. Doomguy only gestured towards the pile of broken bones that used to be a monster. FD. What the hell is that? DR. Dragon Tooth Warriors. Soldiers forged from dragon fangs. Marine. Dispose of them. DG. Roger that. As Doomguy was finishing his sentence, another Dragon Tooth Warrior was emerging from the ground, only to meet the same fate as the last one, being turned into pieces by the Marine's super shotgun. A second later, they were surrounded by a group of Dragon Tooth Warriors who wasted no time in attacking them, using weapons also made of dragon fangs. While Doomguy took care of the range-type skeletons, Jean went after the melee ones, and Drake took care of whatever was in front of her, using both of her pistols to make short work of the skeletons. Moments later, the entire group of Dragon Tooth Warriors was wiped out by the Marine's party, after he destroyed the last one using the super shotgun's meat hook and blasting it to pieces soon after. JDA. We shouldn't stay around for too long. Let's move on. DG. Agree, let's go. FD. That's probably for the best, actually. Hopefully, they'll leave us alone for a while. As they were advancing further into the prairie, Dr. Roman contacted them via the hologram emitter on the Marine's Predator suit. Whatever it was, it must be a very important matter. DR. Marine, I got a hit on that pirate flag from earlier. That's the flag of the legendary asterisk heavy static asterisk 8. Asterisk heavy static asterisk of the asterisk heavy static star. In other words, those pirates are asterisk heavy static asterisk called asterisk heavy static star. Roman's hologram disappeared suddenly before he or Da Vinci say anything else. The comm links with Chaldea were also dead quiet, not even making a single sound. JDA. What just happened? Dr. Roman disappeared before he could even finish his sentence. DG. Someone or something has jammed our communications with Chaldea. We're on our own for now. FD. I don't like the sound of that. The ground started to shake violently out of nowhere. Jean, scared, quickly grabbed the Marine's arm and held it tight with all of her strength. Drake fell to the ground, caught off guard by the sudden earthquake they were experiencing. 10 minutes had passed when the tremors finally subsided. While Drake already got back on her feet, Jean still was scared of the tremors, not wanting to let go of the Marine's arm. The earthquake created a lot of fissures on the prairie, some big enough to fit a man inside of them. It was clear that this place wasn't safe anymore, and they needed to get out of there immediately. But first, Doomguy needed to calm Jean down. DG. Jean, it's okay now. The earthquake has already stopped. You can let go now. JDA. Oh, I'm sorry, Marine. Forgive me, but I've never experienced something like this in my life. Are you all right? DG. No injuries anywhere. JDA. Thank God. And what about you, Drake? FD. I'm fine too. That was a breeze compared to a raging ocean. But I'm worried about the ship and my crew. Can we go back for a bit? DG, we should. Something is clearly wrong here. Let's hurry back. Retracing their steps, the party soon found their way back to the shore and back to the Apollo 2. When a Marine tried to use the Apollo comm system to try and raise a signal to Chaldea, it failed, since it appeared to in the same state as the Predator suit's comlink, dead quiet. And to make matters worse, the Apollo couldn't move from where it was docked. It appeared that something was stopping the ship from moving, and even with its turbines at full capacity, the Apollo didn't move a single millimeter forward. FD, huh? Hey, what's wrong? Something up? DG, yes, the ship's stuck in place. FD, sorry, but can you repeat what you just said? DG, you heard me. The Apollo can't move a single digit. FD, this can't be happening. This is your specialty, right? These types of strange situations and whatnot, isn't it? DG, something is anchoring the ship on place, making it unable to leave the island. That's all I can tell. JDA, it could be the work of some type magecraft, perhaps? DG, presumably. Can you feel anything strange, Jean? JDA, let me see. Give me a moment. Jean closed her eyes and lifted her lance. After staying like this for minutes, Jean opened her eyes again and told the Marine what she found out about their situation. JDA, I was right, sadly. There's some sort of bounded field that has been drawn all over the island. Its rank is so low that we can escape its grasp if we really wanted to, but I can't say the same for the ship. Unless we take down whoever is creating this field, I'm afraid we'll be stuck here forever. FD, what are we going to do now, Captain? DG, search and destroy whatever is creating the field. FD, I like the sound of that plan. Drake called one of her pirates to come into the bridge. She then gave the orders for her crew to him. FD, men, stand your ground, behave, and stay put. The real fight's going to be above the sea. Don't be wasting stuff. PTE-4, aye, boss. I'll tell the others immediately. While Drake was talking to her subordinate, the Marines scanned the island, using the Apollo advanced mapping systems for any familiar energy signatures, especially servant signatures. Using the Vikings map as a reference and the data he collected from the Apollo's mapping systems, Doomguy found where they would be going next, marking the location on the Predator suit's map. FD, did you find our next target, Captain? DG, Let's get a move on, Jean. JDA, understood. We'll be right behind you, Master. FD, that was rather quick, but if you say so, it must be true then. Let us, Captain. Leaving the Apollo behind, the Marine led the party to where the servant's signature was coming from. As they were getting closer to the location, the signal grew stronger, but it also appeared to fluctuate from time to time, even disappearing sometimes. By observing this pattern, the Marine could infer that the servant had been gravely wounded. After hours of walking, they arrived at a fort, carved into the base of a high mountain. The fort looked abandoned. The gates opened, welcoming the group to come inside it. The inner side of the fort was in the same state as the outside. Completely deserted, all the rooms were empty, and dirt covered everything they could see. After making sure the fort was really deserted, they advanced deep inside the fortification, stepping into a corridor that appeared to have no end. FD, this is rather dull. That fortress earlier was completely empty too. I'm also surprised that this fort survived that earthquake from earlier. JDA, it should have collapsed, but it's still intact. I really don't like this place. It feels like a trap set for us. The hallway abruptly ended, with a heavy wooden door blocking the entrance for what appeared to be a tunnel. The servant's signal was now not far from where they were standing. Doomguy forced the door open, revealing the entrance to a labyrinth instead of a tunnel. The labyrinth appeared to be carved inside the mountain itself. An oppressing aura was coming from the labyrinth, indicating that something monstrous was inhabiting it. JDA, what is this? FD, is this what you call a dungeon? Oh boy, the pirate blood in me is heating up. JDA, wait a minute. It's not wise for us to continue. We must retreat and come up with... FD, the way I see it, retreating's not going to change a thing. That's what it means to be an adventurer. Leave behind your goody-goody self, Jean. Now onwards. The treasure is ripe for the taking. Drake moved forward, entering the labyrinth, being followed by the Marine and Jean. JDA, Marine, I think we're hastening it too much. Turning left after reaching an intersection, the party ran into a group of skeletons, accompanied by what appeared to be some kind of snake people. Their upper body was that of a woman, with scaly skin and red eyes, with her lower body ending on a snake tail. The crowd of monsters hissed when they saw the trio, attacking them soon after. FD, see, they're here. Let's clean this up quickly. Drake fired her pistol, ending a skeleton archer before he could fire his arrow on them. Seizing the opportunity to test if Da Vinci correctly reproduced the chain gun's mobile turret mod, the Marine stepped forward and faced the monsters head-on, aiming the chain gun at them. Jean thought her master would use the familiar blue shield to protect them from the snake women projectiles, but instead, he clicked a button on the backside of the weapon. After he clicked it, the barrel of the gun was divided into 4 barrels, and the Marine pulled the trigger. The intense barrage of bullets shredded the opposition, killing all of the monsters in the blink of an eye. After he noticed that no monsters were left alive, the Marine pressed the button again, returning the chain gun to its normal state. JDA, you never fail to impress, Marine. FD, good job, Captain. One these days, you'll lend me one of your toys because my pistols are starting to feel like pea shooters, hee. DG, I'll take your request into consideration. Moving further into the labyrinth, they came across another intersection, where Drake promptly said what direction they would go this time. FD, right or left? My gut says left. JDA, Master, can we really trust our instincts? DG, she's a first-rate pirate and adventurer, and the servant signal is stronger going left. In any case, I remember where the entrance is, so don't worry. JDA, oh, I know a solution. Let's hold hands. It'd be a disaster if we got separated here, so holding hands would prevent that from happening. DG, are you sure about this? JDA, I understand how you feel, but this is no time to be embarrassed, Marine. If we get separated, we might be wandering in this maze until we die. It may be a bit awkward at first, but it's just like you said in the past. It's better to be safe than sorry. DG, I'm not embarrassed. JDA, now that the matter is settled, if you'll excuse me. Jean took the Marine's right hand, giving it a light squish before holding it really tight. JDA, that reminds me back then. You held my hand like this, too. Now it feels nostalgic, even though not much time has passed. FD, hang on a moment. I smell something. DG, that's blood. Kneeling down to get a better look at it, the Marine analyzed it. The pool of blood appeared to be recent, indicating that whatever was hurt passed through here recently. At the same time, the blood didn't look it belonged to a human, given its strange color. JDA, and look, the droplets are forming a path in the floor. Since it's our only clue, we should follow it. Come with me, Master. Snatching Doomguy's right hand, and before he could even ask why, Jean dragged him alongside her, following the trail of blood, with Drake right behind them. Jean stopped when the trail seemed to disappear, stopping at another intersection. FD, the blood trail stops here. I guess we'll have to give up tracking it further? JDA, that's not true. Master, get ready to fight. FD, more enemies coming? Huh? This is great. I was getting bored of dungeon crawling anyway. Let's take a break and light our guns up. All right, bring it on. Coming from the dark end of the corridor was another group of snake women, accompanied by a single chimera. But unlike the one Doomguy and Jean encountered back in ancient Rome, this one had white fur and appeared to be weaker than the ones they fought before. Jean dealt the first strike, using her lance to pierce the goat head of the chimera, making it unable to use its deadly breath. Drake took care of some of the snake women, or Lamia, as she heard the mariner call them by this name, using both of her pistols to quickly dispatch them before she was surrounded by them. The Marine was supporting both of them by sniping the chimera's lion head when it tried to lunge at Jean and shooting any Lamia in the head when they tried to use their magic on Drake. The battle was over when Jean cut off the snakehead tail of the chimera and stabbed the lion head skull with her lance, finally killing the creature. JDA, thanks for the assistance, Marine. That thing was not like the one back in Rome, but still was a handful. DG, not a problem. You fought well too. FD, well, fighting these non-humans, including the bones back there, means I now got some more great tales to tell. Anyway, even these things die when you shoot a lead bullet through them. I learned something. DG, it's probably because of the holy grail you have. Didn't you said you wish for your guns to be effective against anything? FD, I remembered, that's why. I guess I shouldn't wonder about when the wild hunt is happening then. Well, where to now, Mariner? DG, walk until the end of this corridor and turn right when we reach the next intersection. Then we should arrive where the servant is hiding. FD, all right. I can't wait to fight those guys again. Let's go. Once again, Drake took the lead, running towards the unknown with great enthusiasm, while the Marine and Jean tailed her. Moments later, they arrived at the end of the labyrinth, finally getting out of it. The labyrinth appeared to end in some sort of wide chamber, the floor filled with what appeared to be a vast assortment of varied white bones, from various animals and even human ones. To the Marine, it seemed they have stumbled upon a creature's lair. FD, I'm getting all kinds of bad vibes here. I think we should turn back. There's nothing here for us. JDA, this eerie feeling, can you feel it too, Master? DG, ever since we entered this labyrinth. Also, it appears we have an enemy servant coming our way. JDA, you're right. And it's another berserker, just like that man from before. FD, stop right there. Seems my hunch was right after all. From somewhere inside the chamber, a tall man-thing came for the trio. The servant had horns in his head, just like Eric, and a mask resembling the face of a bull was covering his face, and it also wielded 2 axes in both hands as weapons. For some reason, the servant also had a ball and chain attached to its left foot. The berserker spoke before branding its axes. BGM, Knights of the Holy Spear, Persona 2, Innocent Sin. D. FD. It's huge. What on earth is this thing? AST. Asterios. Kill. All. You. JDA. AST Arios? Is that its name, Marine? DG. Yes. It's the lesser-known name of a famous monster from Greek mythology, the Minotaur. This labyrinth was its prison, and since we trespassed its territory, we shall fight it now. JDA. I'll be right at your side. Here I come. May the blessing of our Lord be upon us. The Minotaur went straight for the Marine, trying to ram him into one of the walls of the chamber using its body weight. The Marine strafed to the side before the beast could even see it, making it smash the wall and stunning the servant in the process. Pulling out the chain gun and swapping the mobile turret for the energy shield, Doom Guy returned the favor, ramming the blue shield into the servant's body, making the Minotaur bounce off it, dealing substantial damage to the servant. Drake took the opportunity to shoot the Minotaur multiple times in the chest with her pistols, and Jean slashed the servant with the blade of her lance, with blood spilling everywhere from the Minotaur's previous wounds. The Marine also shot the servant with the chain gun, knocking out both axes of its hands. He turned off the energy shield, and after storing the chain gun into the Praetor's suit's inventory, Doom Guy started to strike the Minotaur with both of his fists. After an intense beatdown, the Marine delivered a powerful right hook into the Minotaur's face, destroying its mask and knocking out for good, the servant's body falling to the floor of the chamber. FD. That was close. JDA. Wait. No way. AST. GI. FD. You're still alive after receiving all that punishment? Talk about gluttony. AST. Bro. Thekt. FD. Then it's time to bring out the Culverin cannons. If we blow his head off, he's sure to go down. Now, give Davy Jones my regards. Hold up. JDA. Another servant. Master, be careful. A girl that looked just like Stheno was coming in the direction of the trio, both hands in the air and with an annoyed expression on her face. All right. I guess I just have to go with you. Do whatever you want with me. Just hurry up. Asterios is near death. He wouldn't be much use to you. Besides, if we take too long, he'll die and then the labyrinth will collapse on you. We should hurry back. Leave the navigation to me. AST UG. JDA. I'm sorry, but what do you want with us? What's your problem, Miss Lame Lance? Let's hurry up and go where he is. JDA. Elam. I'm not lame. FD. Hey Brad, don't talk to us like that. You're the one getting rescued. Huh? I don't think that's the way you're supposed to talk to a grown woman. FD. Some nerve you have. Want to sub in for the goddess statue at our ship's bow? We're in need of one, and you're fit for the role. Goddess statue? I'm not really sure what you mean, but I am the goddess Euryale. Wait, did you chase after me, not even knowing that? Obviously, you wouldn't have anything like me, a full super idol, on board your ship. You should at least remember my name. Sheesh. Where are you from anyway? Third-rate pirate. FD. Why, you little brat? I'm going to teach you some manners. Before Drake could do anything to Euryale, the Marine stopped her using his left hand. He moved towards Euryale and stopped in front of her. FD. Captain. DG. At ease, Drake. I want to clear something up before anything else. Huh? What? Wait. You're a human. No, you're something beyond a human. HM. Are you the master of that thing? What brings you here? No, before all else, if you're the master, you must discipline your servants. What's with that perverted servant anyway? You can't find something that disgusting, even in Greece. JDA. Excuse me. It's not like we were chasing you. Huh? Then what on earth were you doing? DG. We are so we can. After the Marine explained what they were doing here, Euryale breathed a sigh of relief and started to talk again. Are you serious? You guys are so misleading. JDA. You want to talk. You're the one who's trapped us inside a bounded field. It was only natural to assume you were our enemy. AST. GUH. Asterios. You don't have to move. You're tough. If you just stay still, you won't die. You won't die, right? AST UG. There's no need to worry. These guys aren't associated with him. JDA. I'm sorry. We were a bit nervous as well. So it was Asterios who put up that bounded field, right? That's right. But it wasn't to trap you guys in. It was to prevent the enemies outside from entering this island. JDA. I understand your reasons, but we have a mission to complete. Unless you remove that bounded field, we can't leave this island and finish our task. I'm fine. I'll make Asterios remove the field. JDA. Just like that? Yes. It's a simple numbers game. There are only two ways out of here. Either Asterios dies, or we remove the field. In that case, I'd rather remove the field. It's much better than being alone. FD. I see. Yes, I'm starting to like you. But you're so cornered that you had to put up this bounded field thing, right? It has nothing to do with you. FD. Yes, it does. You see, I love interesting things. What are you on about? FD. A trip around the world. adventure, dungeons, monsters. This world has so many interesting things to offer. Interesting things tend to be more valuable. That's how this world works. That's why I became a pirate. But that's that. Anyway, you smell like money. That's why I'm bringing you aboard our ship. Hey, you can't just decide that on your own. Board your ship? You must be insane. I already decided. I'm not leaving Asterios behind. FD. Who said anything like that? Asterios over there is coming with us, too. AST. Really? FD. So much power, and quite a hunk if you look at him long enough. I'd be the laughingstock of pirates if I let this talent slip by. Hey, would you like to be a bodyguard on my ship? If you refuse, there's nothing I can do. Will he die unless he's cooped up inside a labyrinth? That's not really the case. Are you really sure about this? FD. Of course I am. I'll pay you well, too. But don't expect any benefits from us. That's not the issue. I mean, as long as you're okay with it. Asterios, what do you want to do? AST. Go. Are you sure about this? AST. If you go me follow. Alone. Lonely. I see. Very well, then. We'll board your ship. But I'll need my own room. I have no intention of showing my face to common pirates. Of course, your ship has a bath, right? As they were observing Drake and Euryale negotiate, Jean swiftly poked one of the Marine side to get his attention. JDA. It seems things went quite well without us interjecting. But are you okay with this, Master? DG. Yes. As long as it helps us complete our mission, I'm fine with it. JDA. While I see your point, but didn't you said that the Minotaur was a monster? DG. Yes. But it seems that Euryale has a leash on him. Look. Jean looked to where the Marine was telling her to. With a gesture from Euryale, the Minotaur kneeled down and Euryale hopped on top of his shoulders. Oh my, you're even taller than my loser sister. Astia. Ouch. Crouch down a little more. My head's hitting the ceiling. AST. FD. Goddesses sure have lots of demands. The Marine and Jean looked at them and then at each other. They knew their journey was about to get more intense, to say the least. Mapped Isles Beach, Okeanos, 1573, 1,200 hours. Arriving back at the beach, Euryale was thoroughly impressed with the Apollo's size and appearance. She immediately ordered Asterios to remove the bounded field from the island. All right. Remove the bounded field, Asterios. AST. Understood. FD. If you're going to shout, at least tell us first. Geez. AST. It's done. The bounded field has been removed. AST. FD. All right then, we can enter the ship now. And how we're supposed to do that? I don't know any way to go up there. FD. You see, this ship is very special. You're going to love this. As usual, the ramp came down from the Apollo's deck, welcoming the group back on board. When any men from Drake's crew saw Asterios, they recoiled in fear, with one of the pirates being brave enough to comment about the servant's presence on the ship. Drake was visibly irritated by their attitude, cowering any time the Minotaur moved around. PTE 7. He's huge. Really huge. And scary. Are we taking these two with us as well, boss? FD. What's with this scary nonsense? You guys are veteran pirates. Yes. Those two are guests. What are your names again? Remember, I am Milyad, and he is Asterios. Just so you know, we're the same as the human named Mash. If you touch me, I will beat you up. Okay? JDA. For someone with your size, you could be really threatening. With matters like this, it's better to make things clear from the start. FD. Also, you shouldn't be scared of him. You should be scared of the captain that's seeing you guys just laze around, doing nothing. Go and prepare 2 rooms for our guests and clean up your mess. PTE 7. Boss. Captain. I'll tell your orders to the other men. The pirate disappeared in the hallway, ready to tell his companions what Drake wanted them to do. Reaching on the bridge of the Apollo, the Marines started the engine of the ship, and the Apollo started to move away from the island they were on, quickly leaving it behind as a distant memory. For hours they sailed without problems. The sea was calm, and waves were low, and the weather was excellent, with the sun shining high on the cloudless sky. Doom Guy was ever vigilant, looking in the horizon and on the radar of the Apollo for any sort of threat, with Jean right at his side. She asked the Marine to open one of the windows of the bridge, and now she was enjoying the light breeze that was coming from the ocean. Drake was sitting down in one of the chairs made for the Apollo's crew, also scanning the horizon for anything strange. FD. Good weather, low waves. It's a really good day. Days like this make me want to grab a drink. JDA. I thought every day you wanted to do that, Captain Drake. FD. You're right. Every day is a good day to drink good rum. DG. We've got an unknown ship coming starboard. This unexpected announcement by the Marine prompted Drake to get out of the chair, pistol in hand. One of Drake's pirates opened the bridge's door and entered, looking for his boss. PTE 4. Boss, we got a problem. A ship's coming for us. FD. I know that scoundrel. Let's deal with it, then booze it up. Tell everyone to prepare for battle. PTE-4. Aye, boss. As the pirate was exiting the bridge, something hit the force superstructure of the ship. No damage was sustained by it, all the force of the impact being completely absorbed by the Apollo's highly advanced armor. By reviewing the footage from one of the ship's many cameras, the Marine saw a cannonball hitting the force superstructure and bouncing off right into the ocean. The unknown vessel was clearly an enemy. DG, let's take care of the enemy boat. Follow me. BGM. Fields of Verdun, Sabaton. Drake and Jean followed the Marine to the deck of the Apollo, where he immediately manned one of the BFG-type cannons mounted on the right side of the ship. Drake ordered her crew to do the same. Soon, all the guns of the right side of the Apollo were aimed towards the enemy vessel. When the other boat got closer, they could see it was a ship similar to the Golden Hind, but it appeared to be manned only by zombie pirates. Drake smiled, eagerly waiting to fire all these strange weapons upon the enemy and see what they could do against a normal ship. FD, would you give me the honor, Captain? DG, I'm ready when you are. FD, thanks. Drake breathed in before giving the order everyone was waiting for, which came in right after. FD, fire. As both ships were almost side by side, both the two crews fired upon their enemy. The cannonballs were completely useless, simply ricocheting off the Apollo's heavy armor with a deep, noisy ping sound and falling into the ocean. However, the Apollo's weapons were devastating, the green plasma balls and EMG rounds ripping the enemy vessel apart, opening holes everywhere they touched. One of the Marines' shots appeared to hit the room where all the gunpowder was stored, as the enemy ship completely exploded, being engulfed in flames. What was left of it started to sink into the sea, and the Apollo left the flaming wreckage behind, completely unharmed. Not a single pirate from Drake's crew was injured. Drake was overjoyed with the results of the battle. Finally seeing it in action, Jean was also very impressed with the firepower that the Apollo possessed. It also reminded her of the cannons she used to fire back in the Siege of Orleans. FD, I love this ship. Those mongrels never stood a chance against us in the first place. JDA, good work, Master. DG, it wasn't just me. JDA, maybe, but you dealt the decisive hit. So it's your triumph. DG, I guess if you think that way, you're right. FD, the next island should be a bit further from here. Huh. JDA, did something happen, Captain? FD, the wind changed its direction out of nowhere. This could mean a storm is coming soon. You guys get the freight and food organized. When they returned to the bridge, they found that Euryale was singing to Asterios, who was captivated by her soothing voice. The melody calmed the berserker servant, who listened to every word of the song expectantly. AST, song? Aye. So did you like that? AST, yes. Aye. Well, thank you. I'll let you hear another one as a special treat. FD, I like it. Beautiful songs are so soothing. Aye. Captain, I don't remember giving you permission to listen to me singing. FD, oh, don't be like that. Let us hear just one more. Aye. Fine then. But it's not something you get to hear often, so you lot should feel very honored. Be quiet now and listen to the music of a goddess. Euryale started to sing again, the melody even more soothing than the one from before. Jean felt relaxed, resting her head on the Marine's right shoulder, almost falling asleep while listening to the song. JDA, such a beautiful melody. Don't you agree, Master? DG, it really is. Aye, there. The end. AST. MHMHMHM. JDA. So, Euryale, I have a question for you. Who are the people you mentioned that were chasing you? And for what purpose? Aye, you sure know how to open up old wounds. JDA, forgive me, but we must know what's happening. Since you don't mean ill, I'll forgive you. See, I'm cute, right? JDA, what? Aye. I said, I'm cute, right? Jean felt something lightly poke her ribs. It was the Marine, and then she understood what he wanted to say with that gesture. Just go along with it. JDA, well, yes, you're cute. Euryale then turned her attention to the Marine. He knew what to say instantly. Aye, you think so too, right, mister? DG, you're beautiful. Aye, yes, I'm pretty and cute. That's why guys always want me. But this time, the most atrocious pervert is after me. A strange pirate just like Drake. JDA, another pirate is here? Aye, yes, and not just an ordinary pirate. A pirate servant is after me. JDA, aye, I don't know his true name, but he's certainly the most disgusting guy in the world. Even Scylla would feel pretty in front of him. JDA, a servant that isn't strong or scary. Just disgusting. Who could it be? Aye, more importantly, Asterios, are your wounds better now? The Minotaur nodded positively and gestured for Euryale to hop back on his shoulders, which she promptly obliged. Aye. All right, what a great view. What's wrong, Asterios? Asterios was getting agitated as if something terrible was about to happen. It was just in time for another one of Drake's men enter the bridge and look for her in order to report what he had seen. PTE-2, boss, there's another ship up ahead. FD, are they pirates too? PT, boss, that ship's raising the same flag we've seen before. FD, meaning they're our enemies. Huh, that ship looks familiar. Looking through one of the windows of the Apollo's bridge, they saw a familiar ship coming in the direction of the bow. It was the same ship that was docked on the beach of the island where they found Euryale and Asterios. And Dr. Roman also finally was able to contact the Marine, meaning the comm links with Chaldea were restored. There was a tone of relief and tension in his voice. DR, Marine? Thank goodness I finally got through. What in the world's happening over there? JDA, Doctor. DG, you took your time, Doctor. DR, I see that both of you are well. I'm finally back, the lovable and reliable Dr. Roman. DG, what about the flag from before? Communications broke down and we couldn't contact you. DR, oh yeah, that flag is a legendary Jolly Roger, belonging to the most infamous pirate in history. JDA, DG, Blackbeard. DR, right? His true name is Edward Teach. Be careful when dealing with him. JDA, don't worry, Doctor. We'll take care of him. Let's go, Master. FD, it's him. It's him. The pirate who put my ship out of commission. I found him at last. I'll blast him beyond the horizon. Men, get on those guns and wreck that ship apart. All of them went to the deck of the Apollo, and Drake's men got into position, manning the guns on the port of the ship, while the Marine and Jean stood in the middle of the deck, prepared to fight. Drake arrived soon after, both pistols in her hands, and ready to destroy Blackbeard. The enemy ship stopped right at the left side of the Apollo, maintaining a safe distance from the vessel. Standing on the edge of the enemy ship was the man they assumed was Blackbeard. He appeared to be snoring when Drake yelled at him, waking him up. FD, hey, are you still alive? You hairy oaf. BRD, huh? Sorry, my ears don't pick up old hag noises. FD, can you say that again? JDA, FD, what? Did you just say? BRD, I just said. I didn't ask for old hags. What's with them useless huge knockers? Is that a joke? Guess scars are okay? Blade scars are great, they turn me on. But the age, that's a slight problem. If it were only half that, you'd be in my strike zone. Drake grew silent, almost looking like a statue. One of her men came to check on her. PTE 5, boss? Boss. She's dead. Inside. It's hopeless. She's all frozen up. I was the same during my first encounter too. I'm surprised I survived it. BRD. MMO. You really are here. Euryale. Really cute. Goo. I want to lick and be licked. Mainly armpits and groin. Oh, and step on me too. Barefoot. Step all over me. I want to be treated like a cockroach. Don't you all want that too? I don't like this. AST. DG. BRD. What? You there. Big green guy. You're my way. Show me. Show me. Show me Missy Euryale. Doom guy paid no attention to what Blackbeard said, even making sure he was in Teach's way as much as possible. The pirate servant truly disgusted the Marine, and he couldn't wait to get his hands on him. Jean was also insulted by Teach's attitude. How could a servant be like this? JDA. Oh, I'm sorry, Master. I just couldn't look at that creature. DG. Me neither. JDA. So what's that thing? DG. A servant, Blackbeard. JDA. I refuse to acknowledge it. I won't admit he's a servant. BRD. JDA. Blackbeard turned his gaze towards Jean, appearing to be evaluating her appearance. Jean felt a discomfort come from her stomach. BRD. You're accepted. JDA. BRD. Who was the one that liked to pull hair? I think it was that guy Bartholomew. No, his fetish was both eyes covered. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, servant over there. Tell me your name. If you don't. JDA. What you'll do if I don't comply. BRD. I will dream about you tonight when I sleep. JDA. My name is Jean Dark. Ruler's servant. BRD. Jean. How beautifully raunchy. Bofufufu. JDA. Marine. Is it normal that I want to stab him with my lance multiple times? DG. Absolutely. Just leave some for me when you're finished. JDA. Thank you very much. But what can we do with someone so disgusting? How we deal with him? FD. Fire. DG. With what she just said. PTE 4 what? FD. Cannons. PTE 7. Are you sure, boss? FD. Yes, I am. Every single one. I don't care. Just fire. Otherwise, I'll throw you guys to the sharks. PTE 5. AI, boss. BRD. Old hag. You mad? You mad, bro? Like huff and puff. FD. Send that bearded fool down to Davy Jones' locker now. BRD. Oh my, how scary. Mr. Bloodaxe King. A familiar Viking appeared from behind Blackbeard. Jean was surprised to see that Eric man again. Didn't the Marine kill him already? She personally saw him dissolve, right after her master beat him down. Ed, Gigigi. BRD. Can you take a minute and grab you-know-what from that old hag for me? Meanwhile, I'll be busy here waiting to lick your Riley. 'Tis my duty as a human being. Hey, Captain Guy. And you too, ruler servant. Make sure that the disgusting sea roach doesn't come near me. Protect me well. Did you get that? Fortunately, I'm an archer. I can at least give you some cover. JDA, right? DG. Understood. BGM. The Pinnacle, Castlevania. From Blackbeard's ship, ropes were launched towards the Apollo, getting attached to the board of the vessel. Teach's zombie pirates started to come onto the Apollo's deck. Most fell into the ocean after the Marines shot the ropes with the heavy cannon's precision bolt, making them snap, and the zombie started to fall into the sea, with great splashes forming in between the two ships. However, a sizable group, led by Eric Bloodaxe, still managed to get on board. They ignored Drake's men that were manning the guns of the Apollo, and went straight for Drake herself and Euryale instead. Using Asterios' head to help steady her aim, Euryale shot down any zombies who got closer to her and anybody else. Drake joined her, scoring headshots on any zombies she laid her eyes on, with deadly aim. With Jean's support, the Marine went right for Eric, opening their fight by striking the Viking in his face with a right cross, followed by a quick succession of punches to Eric's face, while Jean killed any zombie pirate trying to attack her master from behind. After beating Eric down again, Doomguy decided he had enough of him, and this time he would make sure Eric was put out of commission for good. He struck the Viking in the chest with a mighty kick, sending him flying to the front of one of the BFG-type cannons of the ship. Before Eric could even see what happened, the Marine already had aimed the cannon in his face and pulled the trigger. Eric was instantly disintegrated, leaving nothing behind. And after Jean killed the last of the zombie pirates, Blackbeard's attack on the Apollo was successfully repelled. Dr. Roman celebrated their victory with great enthusiasm. DR, all right. He's gone for sure this time. We defeated Eric Bloodaxe. DG, Blackbeard's next. FD, that's my captain. Men, you heard him. Fire all of the cannons. PTE-1, yes, boss. The two ships then started a battle. The cannonballs from Blackbeard's cannons bounced off the thick armor of the Apollo, not putting a dent on it. While the BFG-type cannons were able to deal substantial damage to Teach's ship, it wasn't enough to sink down the vessel. While the crew was concentrated on firing the guns against the enemy boat, a bright red flash blinded Drake, Euryale, and Asterios. When it was gone, all they could see was Jean struggling against an unknown assailant that tried to stab the Marine in the back. Jean had parried the attack in time and started to fight back against the attacker. BRD, ho 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 ho, it's too soon to be happy. Eric Bloodaxe was the lowest rank among us Blackbeard pirates. Plus he smelled bloody all over, his armpits reeked, and his feet were greasy. There was nothing good about him. JDA, you're very stubborn. You don't let your guard down. Good girl, good girl. I thought it would be easier if we killed your master as soon as possible. You're really something special. What kind of servant are you? Well, if you're defeated by something of this caliber, then it's not worth letting you live. Do your best, young girl. JDA, then take this. Jean quickly moved her lance forward. The man tried to repel the attack with his lance, but when it touched Jean's spear, his weapon rebounded with great force, almost making him lose his balance. But when the blade of the lance was about to hit the strange man, he simply vanished out of thin air, reappearing on the deck of Blackbeard's ship. Two additional figures appeared from behind Blackbeard, appearing to be urging him to do something. We must leave, Teach. If we stay much longer, they'll sink this ship and all of our work will be for nothing. Our main objective is the Holy Grail, not Euryale. As much as I hate to work under your leadership, I'll have to agree with Anne. Get us out of here now. Be ready, Fine. You guys may have won this battle, but you'll not win this war. See you later, suckers. Blackbeard's ship started to disappear, becoming translucent every second that passed. Soon, it completely was gone like it was just a mirage all along. Blackbeard's sudden disappearance infuriated Drake, who started to curse him with everything she got. Everyone thought vocal cords would rupture with all that pressure she was putting on them. FD, you said you're Blackbeard, right? Someday. For sure. No matter what. At all costs. I'll take your head and tie it on my bow. Remember it, idiot. Dumbass. You. Oh, I can't think of any more insults. In any case, I'll make sure to get revenge on you. Unexplored Island, Okeanos, 1573, 1,130 hours. 2 days had passed until Drake was finally able to calm herself down. During her out-of-her-mind state, she drank a lot of booze, gulping down liters and liters of rum without interruption. Blackbeard really did a number on her self-esteem with his insults, even though they were completely void. When she eventually got back to her usual self, she asked the Marine to dock the Apollo on an island they were passing by. They need to restock the food and water for Drake's crew, after which Doomguy obliged, docking the ship on the beach of the unknown island. Also, it appeared that Asterios' condition got worsened a little since instead of resting, he carried Euryale around during the battle on the deck of the Apollo. DG, don't worry, he'll live. But it appears the wound he got during the battle against us opened up. Can't you do anything to help him? DG, take him to the infirmary of the ship. Just follow the signs and you'll get there. When you enter the room, there'll be a medicine called Health Bonus in one of the cabinets. Inject him with it and he'll recover in time. You got that? Why yes I did. DG, great. Then go. Yes sure. Thank you. Euryale guided Asterios through the ship, following the Marine's instructions. After they left the bridge, the Marine and the rest of the group left the Apollo, leaving it once again in the care of Drake's men. Setting foot on the island, they saw that it had a forest similar to those they traveled through in France and a more mountainous terrain, filled with cliffs and ranges. When they entered the forest, the trio was immediately greeted by a group of werewolves and what appeared to be jaguars. FD, that's our reception committee, Captain. We should take them down before we move forward. DG, understood. Jean, follow me. JDA, sure, Master. Doomguy fired his plasma rifle, making use of the microwave beam to dispose of 3 enemies at once. The energy beam latched onto their bodies, and after 5 seconds passed, their bodies exploded, their superheated blood evaporating when entering in contact with the air. Drake was impressed with the fireworks, while she was shooting down 3 jaguars that were trying to surround her. They fell limp to the ground, their bodies full of bullet holes, and soon turned to dust. Jean took care of the rest of the beasts, spinning her lance around, hitting and cutting down the monsters without mercy. The beasts were not a match for the experienced fighters, and they were promptly dealt with. Drake was fired up after the fight. FD, we've done it once again. Also, before I forget, I have a question for you, Captain. May I borrow some of your time? DG, surely. What can I help you with? FD, why couldn't we sink that old fool's ship? Their weapons didn't make a scratch on our ship, while ours penetrated their armor, but the ship still was afloat. How's that possible? DG, you're right. The amount of firepower we put them under should have destroyed the vessel. DR, I may have the answer to your question, Captain Drake. FD, it's the Captain's Ghost Scholar. What perfect timing you have. DR, as I was saying, the reason why you couldn't sink Blackbeard's ship is that the vessel itself, it's his noble phantasm. I was monitoring the magical energy levels during the battle, and his ship gave off the strongest readings, which can only mean his ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, is his noble phantasm. The Apollo too. Maybe it's because of the presence of the Holy Grail, but it showed magical energy similar to a noble phantasm. Even then, when our ship was superior, we couldn't destroy Blackbeard. FD, so that means we can't sink it? That we can't destroy Blackbeard? DG, it just means we'll need to put more effort into it. DR, that's what I'm talking about, and I may have found a solution to our problems. JDA, then tell us, Doctor. DR, when I was monitoring the battle, right after the Marine eliminated Eric Bloodaxe for good, the magical energy coming from the Queen Anne's Revenge weakened. FD, and? DR, I had an epiphany. Queen Anne's Revenge grows in strength, its crew members get stronger and stronger. JDA, in simple words, the more servants it carries, the more powerful it grows. DR, there were 5 servants including Blackbeard on that ship. With Eric defeated, it's now 4. JDA, so that's why he wanted to capture Euryale. DR, he wanted to get stronger with her on board. His personal interests also play a part for obvious reasons. JDA, if only we could pull those servants away somehow, but I'm certain that'll be hard to do. DR, I've never encountered a hindrance like him before. He knows nothing and still disturbs our Holy Grail search. FD, well, we pirates are all like that. We take treasures from people, no matter how good they may be. DG, he's just another enemy to destroy. We'll deal with him when the time comes. DR, absolutely. After all, offense is the best form of defense. I'm also picking up a couple of familiar life signatures ahead. Wyverns, this brings me back. FD, what are we waiting for? We have a crew to feed, so let's move. Going to where Dr. Roman said the monsters were, they found the wyverns resting on top of the trees around them. One of them came down from the tree and immediately attacked the Marine. He responded to the aggression with a sticky bomb from the shotgun, nailing it right in the eye of the beast, and seconds later the bomb went off, killing the wyvern. After the explosion, the other wyverns flew out of treetops, starting to attack the party from all. Not wasting any time, Jean dashed forward, killing a wyvern that had just landed by piercing the heart of the monster. Getting creative, Drake aimed one of her pistols at a flying wyvern, waiting for the right moment. She pulled the trigger, hitting the monstrosity right in the head. The dead creature fell on top of one of its brethren, smashing it into the ground, killing it in the process. After a rather quick battle, the wyverns were finished off, with the Marine and Jean ending the last remaining two swiftly. Drake, curious about the creatures, went near the body of one to inspect it, poking it with the barrel of her pistol. FD. Oh, so this is a dragon? It really looks like a big lizard. JDA. It's actually a wyvern. We fought a great many of them back in France. FD. What's up with you? JDA. I just thought of something. Maybe. DG. We can feed your crew with the wyvern's meat. JDA. That's it, master. FD. I mean, dragon meat must be quite the delicacy. Let's get to work then. Using his chainsaw, the Marine started to cut the dead wyverns apart, extracting as much meat as he possibly could. After he was done with the wyverns, Doomguy started to pack the meat with Jean's help, using the leaves and vines from a nearby tree to properly pack and conserve them. After Jean and the Marine piled up the packs in neatly placed piles, and before Drake could even ask how they would carry such an enormous quantity of meat back to the ship, the meat packages simply disappeared. FD, what just happened? Where did all that meat go? DG, I asked Dr. Roman to transfer them back to ship. That's all. FD, you know what? I'm not going to even ask how that works. DG, so, do we still need more meat, or that's enough already? FD, considering the quantity you've extracted, I would say we'll need to kill 6 additional wyverns, and then we'll not have to worry about food for a long while. DG, let's get to hunting then. JDA, we are pretty good explorers, right, Marine? FD, I certainly acknowledge that. Also, it's just me, or is there someone else talking nearby? DR, you're right. It appears there's a familiar on this island. I'm picking up a signal on the Predator suit's radar. JDA, can you confirm that, Doctor? DR, yes, I can. But there's something different about it, though. Looks like it doesn't have that much magical energy, so I don't think we need to be too concerned. DG, still, it would in our best interest to check it out. Follow me. FD, that's the spirit mariner. I can't wait to shoot more of those lizards. Following the signal discovered by Dr. Roman, the party started to move deeper into the forest. After walking for 3 hours, they reached an entrance to a clearing populated by some more wyverns. They were all on the ground, appearing to be surrounding someone or something. A high-pitched voice echoed in the 4 seconds later. Please stop. Stop. Don't chew, please. Not food. Not food. JDA. Master, there's someone in there. We should rescue them. DG. Lead on. I'm right behind you. FD. Let's get this party started. Drake pulled out her pistol and fired her pistol, instantly ending one of the wyverns. The others turned around and roared at the party, only to be greeted by a blue energy shield and a hail of bullets coming from Doomguy's chain gun. Drake also started to shoot from behind the strange blue thing that the mariner summoned in front of them, seeing that all fireballs that the wyverns launched at them simply dissipated when they hit the blue wall. The monsters succumbed after 5 minutes of intense gunfire, getting shredded by it. To their surprise, no one appeared to be where the wyverns were gathered, even though the signal was still there being shown in Predator Suit's HUD. It wasn't until Jean and the Marine went to check it out when they heard something make a strange sound coming from the ground. HRRNNGH? JDA, what was that sound? DG, you stepped on something. It appears to be a teddy bear, while also being the familiar we're looking for. DR, yep, that's it. The magical energy I mentioned is coming from that thing. FD, what's this? A plush toy? That's one ugly bear. Even I can sew something better. Kyun. DG, it made another sound. FD, all I can really feel is just a creepy stare coming from this thing. Ugh. JDA, me too. The trio just stared at the strange teddy bear for what felt like hours, until they finally saw it talk again. Hayu, what are you doing? Whoops. JDA, Master. The plush toy talked. What should we do? DG, let's examine it. DR, by that, you mean dissect it. That seems like a good idea. It's not. JDA, since you can talk, answer this question. Are you our friend or enemy? Huh? That's my line. I'm sorry. I think we can be friends. We have no intention of harming you. JDA, it's another servant. A woman. Wait, they're not enemies. Pujayiru, did you cheat on me again, darling? Despite having me, I'm at the limit of my patience. Come on, it's time to punish you. What? How am I the first to get hit? Wait, there's a misunderstanding. I really was staring at their breasts and legs, but I'm sorry. Pujayiru, JDA, Digi, another pervert. Great. What are you two staring at? Don't interfere in a lover's spat. It is a civil matter. Civil court. JDA, Marine, what do we do? This is the second time I feel a loss. When we met that black whatever earlier, I felt like this too. One bad feeling after another. In this era, everyone appears to be insane. DG, I'll handle this. So what's your true name, miss? Wait, you're human. Are you a master? DG, kinda, right? Okay, finally we meet a respectable servant. Let's see. This type of summon is for Holy Grail War, right? Are we friends or foes? Is the busted girl over there single? Don't casually mix questions up. DG, we're here to restore this era back to its normal state. I'll try to explain to you exactly what I mean. After a lengthy explanation given by both Doom Guy and Dr. Roman, the two servants appear to at least grasp the importance of the situation they were in. I see. Now I get what's going on, more or less. Huh. So this world is endless? Eternal? DR. Even if this era is, I believe it will still vanish if its outer frame is gone. And if that happens, we'll be defeated and human history will come to an end. Pooh. Hey, you were thinking that you wanted to live in this world forever and stuff, weren't you? Oh, guessing what's on my mind. It's like we're in love. How lovely. If I have to live in an eternal world, I'd prefer to die in hell. DG, I would think twice before saying that if I were you. JDA, Master, there's something weird about the relationship between that woman and that thing. What is it? No matter how you look at it. We are the best couple in the servant world. From a third-party viewpoint, it must look strange for a grown woman to be talking to a plush toy. DR, different strokes for different folks. That aside, can you help us? What do you think, darling? You ask what I think, but with humanity about to be exterminated, we have no choice but to help. Idiot. I'm not an idiot. I'm a goddess. Quiet, you useless goddess. It's DV. This is what you call domestic violence, right? JDA. This is too much for me. They don't stop bickering at each other. FD, by the way. Lady Goddess. What's your name? Art what? I am Artemis. DR what? Artemis. FD. A super famous one just appeared. And she doesn't seem to be faking it. What do we do? JDA. And who's that plush toy right there? On. I'm Orion. When I was summoned into this Holy Grail War, I got turned into a strange creature. Strange creature. Strange. Dear I see. By lowering her divinity, it allowed her to be summoned as a substitute heroic spirit. There are plenty of previous cases. On. By the way, I'm infinitely close to useless. I can't live unless I totally depend on her for everything. Art, you could depend on me even more, darling. On. I want to be independent. JDA. Ahem. Then let's fight together. Artemis, Orion. Now, we need to hunt wyverns to feed our crew back on the ship. Let's pool our strengths and seek them. On. I know of a nest nearby. Let's go guide them to it, worthless goddess. Art. As you say, darling. Artemis and Orion guided the Marines group to where the wyvern's nest was located. During all the way to the nest, the two still bickered each other. Every time Artemis started to talk, Orion started to fight her, slapping her across the face with his stuffed paws. The Marines started to regret letting them go with them, just a little. Even Jean, with the immense amount of patience she had, was getting annoyed at their shenanigans. Art. Hey, darling. JDA. Not again. Digi. Asterisk annoyed sigh. Asterisk. Art. Are there male and female wyverns? On. They have parents, but I've never heard about gender. JDA. Parents? I am curious. On. Yes. Their parents are not of the wyvern subspecies. Wyverns are born from their superior species, dragons. I guess they're more like minions than children. DG. That would explain the enormous quantity of wyverns we fought on France. They were all born from Fafnir, given his enormous magical power. JDA. You're right, Marine. But if we keep killing their minions, won't they become angry or something like that? On. It depends on the dragon, but it'll probably want retribution for its fallen children. And like clockwork, a massive dragon landed in front of them, coming from one of the mountains that were in the view of the path the party was traveling through. It resembled Fafnir, except its hide was orange in color and was much weaker than Fafnir, but it still was a formidable foe. The Marine prepared to engage the dragon, taking out the chain gun and swapping the energy shield for the mobile turret. JDA. Master? DG. That's the answer to your question, Jean. It wants revenge. Let's give it a taste of retribution. JDA. Understood. Heading in now. FD. I'll provide fire support from here. Good luck. Jean and Doomguy started to attack the dragon while evading its flamethrower breath it tried to use to hit the two. The Marine deployed the mobile turret, the four spinning barrels soon spewing plenty of EMG rounds in the direction of the dragon's chest area. The bullets did a number on the front of the beast, shredding the armored skin and penetrating easily into the dragon's body, the monster screeching in pain, while also hitting the ground with its massive claws. Using this as a diversion, Jean climbed the body of the beast, reaching its head and piercing the top of it with the blade of her lance. The head of the dragon fell forward, and Jean jumped down from the top of its skull. The Marine finished off the creature with a mobile turret, filling its face with lead. The dragon had been defeated, and the rest of the wyverns scattered all over the isle, fleeing from the scene after seeing their parent die. FD, excellent job, you too. Now we have enough meat to last for years. Let's get to work already so we can get out of this island. Art, Don't be like that, darling. That was quite fun. It's easy to sit back and see how things pan out, but it's also fun to see people struggle up close. FD, thanks for the godlike opinion. Now, come over here and help us. On, why do I have to take part in this? Art, darling's right. Why do we have to do this? FD, do you want those two to be upset with you? On, no. FD, then you two shut up and start working. Now, on, why yes, ma'am. Come on, you heard her. Let's start contributing. Art, whatever you say, darling. Wyvern's Isle, Okeanos, 1573, 1,400 hours. After almost 2 days of exploring the isle, which they started to call the Wyvern's Isle, given the high quantity of wyverns inhabiting it, the Apollo was ready to leave the island and start the search and destroy mission, aimed at Blackbeard's queen, Anne's revenge. Asterios had recovered from his injuries, meaning that Riley followed the Marine's instructions exactly as he said, and he was already carrying his little goddess friend everywhere around the ship on top of his shoulders. Drake's pirates cheered for him since the Minotaur had become a sort of mascot to them. The only thing they needed was to find water that was safe for drinking, but when Drake asked the mariner about it, he showed that the ship possessed some sort of machine that could turn seawater into drinking water. FD, wow, is there anything the ship can't do? I couldn't be happier about not having to worry about gathering water anymore. Can you give me some? I want to taste it for myself. DG, here's a glass. Help yourself. Drake took the glass of water the mariner offered and gulped it down in a second. For her, this was the best water she drank in her life. Drake never knew water could taste like this. Her moment of brief peace was interrupted by the sounds of Orion and Artemis fighting, coming from the deck of the ship. She already had to spend the entire morning explaining to Artemis that Apollo was just the name of the vessel, not her brother, the Greek sun god. Annoyed, she gave back the empty glass of water to the mariner and went to the deck to see what those two were doing. Art, hey darling, let's go that. The you-know-what. That thing where I stand at the bow and extend both arms. On, yep, you can do it. By yourself. Be careful of seagulls. Art, you won't hug me from behind? So cruel. On, don't ask a plush toy for the impossible. Just after Orion finished his sentence, the Apollo started to move, slowly leaving the island behind and starting the journey to destroy Blackbeard. FD, good timing, as usual, Captain. This should keep these two occupied for a while. PTE2. Hey boss, who are these two people? FD, just two harmless creatures. Just let them be. Later in the evening, when the Marine, Jean, and Drake were in the bridge of the ship, looking out for any sign of Teach's ship when one of Drake's pirates entered the bridge, announcing that a ship was coming in their direction. Drake was fired up at the possibility of already finding Blackbeard and putting a bullet in between his eyes. However, her plans were frustrated by her subordinate's next sentence. FD, it's Blackbeard's ship, isn't it? PTE3. No, boss. It's just another enemy pirate ship. FD. Oh, I see. At least we can take them down to liven things up. DG. It's also the perfect opportunity to test the Apollo's main cannon. FD. That big thingy over there, right? Oh boy, I can wait to see in action. DG. Give me a minute to prepare it. After seeing the coordinates of the enemy ship on the radar, the Marine aimed the main BFG-type cannon at it, and he stopped typing in the console, getting near one of the windows of the bridge to keep watch on the enemy. Doomguy also felt that the enemy vessel was reeking of hell essence, meaning that the ship was probably filled with possessed pirates, instead of the traditional zombies they were accustomed to fighting. FD. So what's next? DG. Press that button over there and wait for a minute. FD. As you say, Captain. Let's start the fireworks show. Drake pressed the button on the console with great satisfaction. The cannon made a strange whirring sound, and the rings on the cannon started to become green in color instead of the usual gray. Soon, it fired, unleashing an enormous green beam of energy, it heading straight to the other pirate ship. When it hit its target, the vessel exploded in a massive green cloud, reducing it to an immense green pool of goo that floated into the ocean. FD. Now, that's a lot of destructive power. Imagine what it could do to the Queen Anne's revenge, and to that old bearded pervert's face. JDA. You won't have to wait for too long, Captain Drake. FD. Don't tell me. JDA. Yes. I can feel the presence of 4 servants not far from our position. We should be able to reach their location soon. FD. And we'll be entering unknown territory soon. We won't be able to use the Vikings map anymore. It'll be an adventure, so that's fine. The problem is Blackbeard's ship. What we should do, Captain? DG. Prepare for battle. If we make a bad approach, a lot of your men can die. JDA. He's right. Even with just 4 servants, it's still a formidable amount of enemies. We should be careful. FD. We're way faster, though. Should we use the ram to charge in? DG. Perhaps. We should take care of the servants first, then use all of our cannons to destroy their ship. Euriley said as she was entering the bridge on top of Asterios' shoulders, getting the attention of the trio. FD, I don't know about that. That woman with the musket is especially problematic. If it turns into a gunfight, I don't think the confusion tactic will work. Art, why doesn't someone board their ship and cause a riot before the ships collide? Now it was Artemis and Orion's turn to barge into the bridge of the Apollo. On. Are you stupid? How would someone board their ship before a ship? Oh, JDA, what happened? Art, I am a goddess. But I was technically summoned as Orion, so I have control over Orion's power. You're the son of Lord Poseidon, so you can walk on water? Wait, that's it? On. Look, even I wish I had slightly cooler powers. I mean, walk on water? What am I, a water strider or something? Art. You're so cute when you're sad and gloomy. I just want to squeeze you tight. Squeeze. On. Jean, comfort me in your bosom. JDA. No. On. Ju. FD. I think Artemis is onto something. Now, I have something to ask you guys. On. Great. I'm excited, but have a bad feeling about this. The Marine suddenly pulled out his shotgun, pumping it. As he was exiting the bridge, with Jean right behind him, he heard Drake calling out for him to stop for a moment. FD. Why are you leaving, Mariner? What's the matter? DG. Get your men ready and your plan in motion. Blackbeard's coming. Let's sink that ship, once and for all. FD. You should have said that sooner. I'll get them ready. Artemis, you know what to do, right? Art, right? FD. Then it's time for the final showdown. Move out. Open sea. Okeanos, 1573, 1,700 hours. BGM, Aquarius, Castlevania. The Apollo and Queen Anne's Revenge encountered each other again. Only this time the Apollo was in the offensive, heading straight for Blackbeard's ship. The strange servant from before tried to warn Teach of this, but he was too infatuated with Euryale after seeing her at the bow of the Apollo to listen to anyone. Blackbeard opened his arms and started to wave at her, trying to get her attention. What he didn't see was that Euryale was aiming her bow at him, ready to hit him with one of her special arrows. BRD. Euryale? What's this about my Euryale? Yay. Euryale, come spread your arms at the bow with me. Huh? Euryale fired her arrow, missing Teach by centimeters. The arrow instead hit one of the members of his crew, right in his chest. TCH, I missed. No, I feel like I missed on purpose. I felt like my arrow would be soiled. JDA, I'm sorry, but can you try to aim and shoot him down? Your arrows are disposable. Deal with it. If we don't get him now, we'll have to fight that servant in close combat. I know, but instead of hitting Blackbeard directly, it's better if I hit someone else. That's how my arrows works. Some of them are boarding our ship. There aren't many, so let's defeat them quickly. JDA, don't worry, my master's already taken care of them. And the Marine was already at it, killing any zombie pirates that were in front of him and also destroying the boats they were using to board the Apollo with the shotgun sticky bombs. Back at the Queen Anne's Revenge, Teach killed the zombie that got hit by Euryale's arrow before he could attack him, cursing his luck. BRD, see, now your blood got my shirt all dirty. Remember, death is what happens when you're careless. PTZ1, yes, sir. BRD, Miss Ian, ANN, please don't call my name using that creepy voice. What is it, Captain? BRD, Jijijai, say, why don't you go and shoot at them? ANN, if it wasn't for the disruption, I would have done so. BRD, I'm counting on ya. Let's see. Don't tell me this is all you got, old hag. Teach insulted Drake when the Apollo was close enough to the Queen Anne's Revenge. She promptly replied to the offense, while also gesturing to something above them. FD, of course not, pervert captain. Blackbeard looked to where Drake was pointing to, immediately getting infatuated by Artemis' beauty. BRD, an angel. There's an angel here. There's an angel. But who are you? A servant? Art, I am Orion, and now I'll kill all of you. Some of Drake's men started to shoot the chain guns batteries of the Apollo, aiming at the Queen Anne's Revenge. They were deadly effective, dispatching many of Teach's zombie pirates in an instant and successfully cornering the two female servants. And soon they also started to shoot the BFG-type cannons, dealing massive damage to the hull of Teach's ship. During all the chaos, Orion was setting up a surprise for Blackbeard, while Artemis was also shooting her arrows at any enemy that was in her field of view to keep them distracted. I'll go. You keep shooting there, Ian. A and B. Gotcha. BRD. Damn it. Missy Mary. I'm counting on you. MRD. You don't need to say it. Art. Oh, human. I'd be troubled if you get too close to me. MRD. Figures. Since you're probably an archer from the looks of it. Art. Exactly. Bye-bye now. MRD. Hey, wait. On, Artemis. Tell them we're ready. Art. Darling. Understood. Captain Drake, it's done. From the bow of the Apollo, Drake heard Artemis's call. She turned to her men, saying what was coming next. FD. All right, men. We'll rip through the belly of Queen and with the bow of our ship. Grab onto something and hold on tight. PTE 3. Gotcha, boss. Prepare for impact, boys. An explosion happened on board the Queen Anne's Revenge, followed by many others in the bowels of the ship. Blackbeard was now panicking, afraid of what was happening now. BRD. Explosions. In the ammo hold. Oh no. So that's what's going on. Damn it. Art. That went well, darling. On. I thought I died down there. I lit all of the fuses and ran away. Ran away at full speed. MRD. You bastards. Art. How rude. Fine. I'll play with you for a while. On. Don't play shooter down. Though what a waste it will be. Art. Okay. Oh. And darling. I'll punish you later. Okay? BRD. CCC, calm down. Everybody calm down. Extinguish the fire first. Now everybody strips down. A and B. Regain your sanity, Captain. BRD. WWW what? I'm super sane, you know? More importantly, Missy, and take off your pants too. A and B. Next time you say that, I'll shoot you. BRD. I'm sane again. And I understand. Hard as starboard. Anyway, we'll have to get out of here. Pete, easy one. Captain. But it was already too late for Blackbeard and his ship. The last thing they saw was the bow of the Apollo rapidly approaching them, ready to turn Queen and into a pile of smashed wood and metal. At the very edge of the ship's bow, they could Drake and her two strange companions, ready to board their ship. BRD. Oh great. Looks like it's too late. All hands brace for impact. Bahaha. I've always wanted to say that. MRD. It's Drake's new ship. A and B, right? Both fast and sturdy. In the bow of the Apollo, Drake was rallying up her men to the upcoming boarding of Blackbeard's ship, while Euryale promptly hopped into Asterio's shoulders, the Minotaur ready to smash anything for the sake of his goddess. Jean and Doomguy were looking for the servants on the enemy vessel, ready to take them down. And then they heard Drake give the order to her pirates. FD. Prepare to board, my filthy scoundrels. Yes. Let the plundering begin. Asterios, go. AST. You. JDA. Well, master, can't keep Blackbeard and the servants waiting. DG. Let's do it, Jean. JDA. I'm with you, Marine. As the bow of the Apollo crashed into the middle section of the Queen Anne's Revenge, severing the ship in half before stopping, the Marine and Jean jumped into Blackbeard's ship, followed by Euryale, Asterios, and Drake and her subordinates. They were all ready to finish Blackbeard once and for all. Chapter 4, Part 2. Raiders of the Lost Ocean. Queen Anne's Revenge Deck. Okeanos, 1573, 1800 hours. BGM. Walk all over you, ACDC. As soon as they landed on the deck of Blackbeard's ship, the Marine's party was welcomed by the two female servants, who shot them on sight. On a double, a blue shield protected Drake's men and everyone behind the Marine, who returned the favor by firing the chain gun, aiming it in the general direction of the two servants and Blackbeard. The three servants were too surprised by seeing their bullets being deflected by the strange blue barrier surrounding Doomguy to notice the chain gun's spinning barrel, but quickly regained their composure when they saw the weapon pour out a storm of bullets that killed all of their zombie crew that were present in the ship's deck in an instant, and they quickly retreated to safety, taking shelter behind some steel barrels. When Doomguy stopped firing the chain gun, he was greeted by two bullets hitting the blue shield and Dr. Roman delivering an important message through the comlink. DR. These two combined are one servant, Marine. But you only need to defeat one of them. If you do that, the other will be defeated as well, no questions asked. JDA. So in a way, they're like Orion and Artemis, right? DG, you're correct. Only this time, both can put up a fight. The two female pirates exited their hiding spot and faced the Marine and Jean head-on, revealing their true identities when they introduced themselves. MRD, my name is Mary Red. A and B, and I'm in Bonnie. DR, the legendary pirate pair. No wonder they caused a lot of trouble for you guys. MRD, how interesting. So extra classes of heroic spirits really do exist. A and B, they have many servants on their side as well. Mary, for now, why don't we do the usual thing? MRB, okay, we haven't lost quite yet. If we can hold you two off, we can win. Let's go. Mary and Anne were surprised to see the two armored strangers take the initiative, closing the distance between them in the blink of an eye. Mary tried to hit the green armored man with her rifle, but the Marine's incredible agility ended up confusing her, and Mary missed all of her shots she fired. Before long, Mary felt something hit the left side of her face, knocking her back a few feet and making her drop her rifle on the floor. When she opened her eyes, she saw and was fighting the female servant, unable to keep up with her strikes, getting more and more cornered with each retreating step. She got up, only to find herself face to face with the tall, green armored warrior. Mary proceeded to strike him on the left side of his helmet with her fist. Where her hand hit the helmet, she felt a sharp pain irradiate from where she struck the man with her hand. She continued to attack him, with the Marine avoiding all of the punches until he grabbed one of Mary's arms and held it firmly in place. He then punched Mary in the gut with enough force to knock all of the air out of her. She fell to her knees, blood dripping from her mouth. She looked at the man, who was just standing in front of her, doing nothing. She looked to where and was once again, only to see her be stabbed by the female servant in the heart, falling to the side while dropping her cutlass on the floor. She felt the pain of her wounds, and soon, her mouth was filled with more blood. The famous pirate duo was defeated. MRD, so we fell short. Sorry, Captain, we're going on ahead. A and B, Captain, please don't get depressed just because we're not around anymore. Being a victor is all you're worth. If you lose, we're the ones who end up looking like fools. Both dissolved after saying their final goodbyes to Blackbeard. The dust they left behind was carried by the wind, spreading into the ocean. Blackbeard left his hiding spot and turned to face the green stranger, the Gene servant, and Drake. BRD, MMPH. Then Blackbeard's beard began shining like gold or silver or burning red, and he rose like a phoenix, at least emotionally. JDA, ugh, this is awful. DG, hang in there and come at us, Captain. JDA, even you're starting to sound unmotivated, Master. BRD, backs against the wall, all is vanity, glory to the Sutra. However, I hate to brag, but this Blackbeard never even thought of defeat. FD, oh look who's talking, you swine. Now this finally feels like a death match. You and I, we're the same. A pair of heartless scoundrels who live our lives taking or saving lives. The loser is scum and the winner is justice. In that case, I'll trample your justice with my demonic heels. BRD, you're acting pretty cool for an old hag. If I was a woman, I'm sure that right now there'd be romantic BGM playing with an event CG where I start stripping. Such a bother to create backups and programming for that, though. FD, I seriously don't understand what you were saying at all. JDA, and neither do I. DG, trust me, you don't need that knowledge. BRD, well anyway, let's have our showdown, old hag. FD, insult me as much as you want. Now that I can punch you directly in the face, I'll laugh at your jokes. And when I finish with you, not even your mother will be able to recognize you. Captain, Gene, with me. DG, we're on it. JDA, let's go, Marine. Before they could have their showdown, the tip of a familiar lance pierced Blackbeard's chest, blood spraying from the exit point. Gene recognized it as belonging to the spear of the unknown servant who tried to stab the Marine from behind during their first encounter with Blackbeard and his crew. JDA, fitted, chaff, damn it you, to your own comrade. You finally let your guard down, Captain. I mean, you act totally carefree, but wherever you are, you're always gripping your gun warily. This old man's really impressed. After all, a genius who acts like a moron is more trouble than a moron calling himself a genius. BRD, I see it now. So that's why I couldn't read your true thoughts. But betraying me under these circumstances? Mr. Hector, are you an idiot? DR, Hector? HC, oh please, this old man's doing it knowing there's a fair chance to succeed. All right, Captain, I'll take your holy grail now. BRD, don't mock me. After Hector removed his spear from Teach's chest, Blackbeard rolled on the floor and aimed his pistol at the servant, shooting him. He missed Hector's head by a little margin, only managing to make a cut into his left cheek. Hector then took a familiar golden chalice from one of the pockets of Teach's pants. It was the foreigner holy grail that caused the singularity to exist. The goblet disappeared in Hector's hands. HC, too bad you missed it. The holy grail is now mine. BRD, I screwed everything. HC, now all that's left is you two. Francis Drake and Doomslayer. Sheesh. The plan was to let the holy grail fall into an idiot's hands, causing this era to fall apart. I can't believe that a Voyager who exists only to stop that, and someone that only exists to protect humanity would appear. The naval chart of mankind sure walks on a tightrope. JDA, I won't let you get away again. Jean tried to attack Hector again, thrusting her lance with great force in his direction. To her surprise, he vanished into the air as soon as she got next to him, the blade of her lance impaling a wooden barrel instead of Hector's abdomen. He reappeared behind Asterios and snatched Euryale from shoulders, and when the Minotaur tried to react, he disappeared once again, only to reappear once again in front of the Marines party. JDA what? HC, just kidding. I don't care about the correct Holy Grail. My objective was her from the very beginning. Ike, hey, let me go. HC, please, behave yourself. DR, Euryale, FD. That means you were betraying Blackbeard even before you boarded this ship? HC, indeed, Captain Drake. I guess you can call me a Trojan horse, even though I've never seen the real thing. Drake tried to shoot Hector in an effort to free Euryale from the servant's grasp, but the bullets she fired appeared to go through him. HC, that was quite violent, and since I've achieved my goal, I'll be leaving. So long, Dogs of Chaldea. JDA. Stay and fight us, coward. HC. I'm not an idiot. Even I would be defeated quickly if I faced you and your illustrious master alone. We may not be able to kill you, but we won't have you stand in our way. See you next time, Slayer. And with this, Hector faded away, taking Euryale with him. Asterios was visibly upset with Euryale's kidnapping, sitting down on the floor of Blackbeard's ship. Poor guy. The Marine pitted the Minotaur in his thoughts, just like Jean did. She would dedicate a prayer for him tonight. On. Damn it, he ran away. Cheeky bastard. Art. Should we go after him, darling? I'm sure we could. On. We can't. Art. And why not, darling? On. Because right now, both you and I are servants. Art. Humph. So you think that I'd lose, darling? On. I don't for sure. But if he's the real Hector, then he's also, the great hero of the Trojan War. The greatest conflict in which the gods of Olympus intervened. Even the omnipotent, invincible hero Achilles took many years to defeat him. If you were in your true body, sure, but with my power as your base, it's a bit too much for you. Art. Surprisingly calm. On. Not really. Everybody seems to really mad right now. One of us has to be calm, or it's hopeless. Art. Oh, you're so cool. Darling. Embrace me. Do what you want with me. On. As I said before, don't ask the impossible from a plush toy, you airhead. Drake went to where Blackbeard was laying down, dying from his mortal wound, accompanied by Doomguy and Jean. She noticed the zombie crew of the ship had crumbled to dust, and the Queen, Anne's revenge itself, was flashing in and out of existence. JDA. The rest of the undead crew is gone. DR. They were created by Blackbeard's magical energy. Now that the Holy Grail is gone, they can't be maintained, even though he himself still has a little energy left. BRD. Hey, everybody, it's almost time to say goodbye. Don't you dare think you won. Old hag, got that? FD. Yeah. The more you talk, the more you sound like a sore loser. Hurry up and begone, Blackbeard. It must be hard for you to even breathe right now. BRD. Damn you. You're being nice to me. Makes my heart flutter. I'd say, marry me. I'll make you happy. I mean, you've been single ever since you were born, no? FD. I've had enough of you, nitwit. Hurry up and kick the bucket. BRD. Haha, what a nice insult. Now that I'm satisfied, it's time to die. But this time I won't be beheaded. Because I am the greatest pirate after all. I am a merry pirate, and I will die as one. I regret that I wasn't able to create my harem, but I still had fun. I approve. Oh, old hag, don't you need a story route where I revive as a rival? Wouldn't it be great if I revived with a line like, it's been decided, I'm the one who defeats you, or something? FD. Not needed, it's useless. Come on, snuff it. The mariner told me about your final moments. Make sure to take that head with you. BRD. Okay, well, that's all fine. Huh, that's all dandy and fine. Fandy and Dine, the woman who Blackbeard respected most. The pirate who he yearned for most. She's present at Blackbeard's deathbed, and he keeps his head intact. Then, farewell humanity. Farewell pirates. And so Blackbeard draws his last breath. Ha! Ah-ha-ha-ha! Blackbeard faded away, and the Queen, Anne's revenge, was fading with him. This prompted Jean to urge everyone to get back to their ship, also asking the Marine to do something about it. With a wave of his hand, the ramp from the Apollo came down, beckoning them to get on board once again. JDA. Captain Drake, let's go back. This ship is disappearing. FD. Farewell, Edward. In the end, both you and I are headed to hell. Why don't we pay for our misdeeds with disgrace and shame like true pirates? JDA. Asterios, you're coming too. Come back. ASTUG. Erie. Ale. JDA. After they got back in the deck of the Apollo and the ramp retracted, the Queen, Anne's revenge disappeared for good, leaving nothing behind. But now, they had other priorities to be taken care of. Doomguy immediately went back to the bridge of the ship and started to type on the console of the ship. After a few seconds, the ship started to move once again, set sailing once more into uncharted territory. JDA. Where are we going now, Master? What should we do? Digi. I've got a signal coming from the foreigner, Holy Grail. We'll find it and rescue Euryale. JDA. Sounds like a good plan, Marine. FD. I agree with Jean. We'll find that bastard and give him and his cronies what they deserve. Let's get move on. Open Sea, USS Apollo's Bridge, Okeanos, 1573, 1,500 hours. At the bridge of the Apollo, Dr. Roman and the Marine, alongside the rest of the group, were discussing the reasons as to why Hector captured Euryale. The Marine felt they were about to uncover a very sinister plot, more wicked than any possibility the others put on the table. DR. I'm sure Blackbeard said Hector. If that's the case, then that spear is the sword Durandal, later inherited by Roland, one of the 12 paladins of Charlemagne. Or rather, the base for that sword. That's how powerful that spear was. But I wonder what Hector plans to do with Euryale. FD. Human trafficking? No, it can't be that simple. But he sounded like he had a clear goal in his mind from the beginning. JDA, yes. From the very start, Hector was only interested in obtaining Blackbeard's Holy Grail. And Euryale and Blackbeard seemed to be wary of the possibility of that happening. I can understand the Holy Grail, but why Euryale? DG, it's not about bolstering forces. Euryale may be a capable servant, but she herself isn't that powerful. I think what makes her special is the very fact that she became a servant in the first place. FD, Captain, what are you saying? What do you mean by that? DR, oh, I know. In the past, we met her big sister, Stheno. She was summoned as a servant despite being a goddess. Euryale is not a hero, nor is she someone whose name is engraved into history. She was treated like a goddess in Greek mythology. The one who flies far, that's Euryale, or she was a monster, the middle sister of the three Gorgons. The youngest is the famous Medusa. I can see her being summoned into a Holy Grail war, but not Euryale. She is just a goddess, an idol of ideals, and undoubtedly weak. For her to be summoned as a servant is a strange phenomenon, though some other servants are just as peculiar. Usually, it's very difficult for divine spirits to become servants, unless there's a really special case. In addition, a pure god becoming a servant is something that isn't supposed to happen in the world of magecraft. Art, really? Who's also like that? He's referring to us. Take the hint. FD. Basically what you're saying is, Euryale isn't good enough to be kidnapped for her fighting prowess? AST. FD. Still, that's not a reason for us not to save her. Plus, she's a great singer. I like great singers. It is a very important role for sailors, right, man? PTE 3. It heals our rotten hearts. FD. There you go. Don't worry, big guy. Nobody on this ship wants to abandon that girl. AST. JDA. DG. What's with the gloomy look, Gene? There's something that's been bothering you, right? JDA. Yes. It's just that Captain Drake's personality is just very complicated. It's hard to explain, but she reminds me of you. Facing difficulties, helping those around her. It is an advantage, a quality that people possess. But why is Captain Drake a villain? She is such a good person, but her actions are that of an outlaw. I can't understand this contradiction. Out of nowhere, the Apollo started to shake from his side, and what appeared to be hail was hitting the windows of the bridge. Soon, the ship was in the middle of an enormous storm, the deck getting soaked after each passing wave. And then heavy rain started, making the visibility become horrible in a matter of seconds. DG, looks like we managed to get ourselves into trouble again. Captain Drake, tell your men to get back to their quarters. This is going to be a rough ride. FD, damn it. It had to happen in a time like this. You heard the captain, boys. There's a storm incoming, so hurry up and get back to the dorm room. PTE1, aye, boss. Move, scoundrels, move now. Lightning struck the ocean, and in the brief moment the light illuminated the way ahead, the Marines saw the silhouette of what could only be described as a ghost ship, and it was coming in their direction. He also noticed the look of fear in Drake's eyes, meaning she also saw the ghost ship coming their way. FD, Ghost ships are usually just vessels that were abandoned for things like mutiny and starvation. The light is coming in our direction? Eek. DR. Wow. It's even more like an ocean adventure novel now. So much excitement. I want to turn this into a book. Drake made a really strange sound just now. Art. Her voice was just like a maiden's. FD. Forget about my scream. Look to the bow. Enemy attack. Ghosts and skeletons are attacking us. Even with all the hail and heavy rain, Doom Guy could see the shapes of the specters and the form of a very familiar demon. Revenants. He pulled out his super shotgun and started making his way to the deck of the Apollo, only to be stopped by Gene. JDA. Master? DG. What? JDA. Where are you thinking of going, mister? DG. I'll get rid of those demons and ghosts. JDA. Demons? But I only saw those big skeletons and the specters. DG. Those big skeletons are revenants, a special type of demon. They must be dealt with now. JDA. But you can't fight those things under this weather. You'll fall into the ocean. DG. I'll be fine. You stay here and make sure not a single one of them enters inside the ship. Do you understand? Jean wanted to protest against his decision, but she knew it would be futile to try and sway him anyway. JDA. Yes, I understand, Master. Just be careful and return to us safely, okay? DG. Will do. BGM. Devil Dogs. Sabaton. The Marine closed the door, and Jean hurried back to the bridge in order to watch over him. She was ready to intervene in case he needed her. Drake was already watching the battle, and from the door of the bridge, Jean could hear the gunfire and explosions coming from below. She got near a window, just in time to see one of the demons her master called the Revenant screech and get killed by the Marine's super shotgun, tearing the demon to pieces with the weapon's terrible firepower. The next target was a group of ghosts that were infighting two Revenants in the port of the ship. Exchanging the super shotgun for the rocket launcher, the Marine fired 2 rockets in their direction. Jean thought he missed them since the rockets appeared to fly over them, but then they exploded into a cluster of smaller explosions, erasing the ghosts and the revenants from existence. The Marine moved to the nearest target, a revenant that was too brave for its own good. The demon standing in the middle of the deck, screeching loudly at the one it feared the most. Doomguy shot the 2 cannons of the revenant's jetpack using the heavy rifle precision's bolt, neutralizing it as a ranged threat, and then used the weapon as a club, hitting the demon on its face multiple times. The monster collapsed on the ground, and the Marine ended it, stomping the demon's head and crushing it. He then finished off the rest of the ghosts, still using the heavy cannon. The rain and the waves washed the little blood that was left in the deck of the Apollo, and the carcasses of the monsters crumbled to dust. After he saw Jean and Drake looking from the window, the Marine saluted them with his signature thumbs up, and they waved back at him. The storm appeared to be subsiding, and soon the Apollo left it behind, finally sailing on more calm waters, with the sun shining high up the sky. After getting rid of all the seawater that soaked the Predator's suit, Doomguy returned to the bridge to find a relieved Jean and a more calm Drake. FD. Thank goodness you disposed of them, Captain. Ugh. JDA. Captain Drake, are you afraid of ghosts? Is that it? FD. Well, can't a person be a little superstitious? Especially after everything we've been through. JDA. You do have a point. I'm sorry. FD. No problem. Now that the storm is gone, we should be able to sail without any incidents. DR. I'm afraid that'll not be possible, Captain. FD. Oh, is the good doctor again? What's the matter now? DG. It appears we have someone waiting for us. FD what? Drake got out of the chair she was sitting on to look at what both the Mariner and Jean were observing. It was another ship, similar to a Viking ship, but somehow Drake knew that it looked to be much older than any ship she ever saw. As the Apollo approached it, she could see that Hector's servant from before in the deck, with a chained Euryale at his side, but he wasn't alone. There were 3 more strangers accompanying him. An enormous shadowy man that appeared to be made of only pure muscle mass, another scrawny blonde man, and a small young girl. After Asterios saw Euryale, he tried to break one of the windows of the bridge in order to jump in the strange ship and rescue his beloved Euryale. He was stopped by the Mariner, who firmly held him with one of his hands, while the Minotaur protested, blabbing something about saving Euryale. AST, give, ba aoaek. FD, stop this furball. If you jump there, you'll be dead before you even know it. JDA, calm down, Asterios, please. The Berserker finally calmed down after it knew it couldn't win in a strength contest against the Marine. A pirate entered the room, looking for Drake. In his eyes, she could see the look of anticipation for another grand naval battle. PTE-2, boss, the rest of the men are waiting for your orders. Can we blast those guys into oblivion? FD, of course not, you idiots. Euryale is on that ship. Wait for my signal, then you can fire, understood? PTE-2, yes, boss. We'll be waiting for you on the deck. The pirate disappeared back into the ship, returning to the deck where his comrades were waiting for him. Drake then turned to the Mariner, asking for advice on what they should do next. FD, so Captain, what we do now? Those guys appear to be some real trouble, and they have Euryale with them. JDA, we must be careful, Master. Even if they didn't attack us on sight, they aren't friendly. I can feel it. DG, we'll see what they want with us. If it's a trap, we'll retaliate and retrieve Euryale. FD, sounds good to me. Let's hit the deck then. Open Sea, USS Apollo's deck, Okeanos, 1573, 1,600 hours. The 2 ships were now side by side. From the unknown ancient ship, the group heard the man that was standing right beside Hector speak something in a hushed voice, an order directed at his muscle-bound subordinate. All right, we found them. It's your turn now, Heracles. Let's send those scrappy masses gathered there a hearty greeting. The greeting the blonde man was talking about manifested in the form of 2 massive boulders, launched by the giant man. The 2 large rocks were aimed directly at the Marine and his group. Jean was caught by surprise upon seeing this. She knew that they weren't their allies, but she never thought they would be so violent. JDA what? Where do these boulders come from? AST, move away. Nuah. Before Asterios could do anything, the 2 huge boulders were blown up before even reaching the deck of the ship. This was the Marine's doing, using his rocket launcher to destroy the rocks before any damage could be done to their vessel. Ha ha ha. That stranger managed to destroy our little gift. What a shame. And that other barbarian over there, what is that? Is it a war-beast? Oh, that's Lord Asterios, otherwise known as the Minotaur, the tragic child born from the union of a divine bull and a human. So, a poorly created human, a comical creature fated to be defeated by a hero. They're really short on talent, aren't they? Ha ha. HC, he's not the one you should be concerned about. That stranger is a very competent warrior. and his servant is just capable as him. If you underestimate him, he'll ruin your plans before you even know it. No problem, Hector. The goddess is here with us, and you have the Holy Grail, then all is well. While we're at it, let's settle the score once and for all. You, the evildoers trying to correct the world, and us, the heroes trying to make it right. A suitable finale for the Holy Grail War. Out of thin air, possessed pirates started to materialize in the main deck of the Apollo, a serious threat for Drake's crew, since they were inexperienced in dealing with demonic creatures. DG. Captain, get your men out of here. FD. What are you saying? Who's going to operate the cannons? They can handle a few undead. DG. That's an order. Drake was surprised by the mariner's cold and authoritative tone, instead of his usual indifferent and unconcerned self. But she also knew he probably had a reason for doing that. And after a second look, those undead pirates did look different from the usual ones, with a glaring pentagram carved on their forehead, sticking out like a sore thumb. FD, men, get back inside the ship. The captain, Jean, and I will handle those things from here. PTE-1, but boss, we want to help you. FD, don't just stand there and question me, you imbecile. Just do as I say. PT, a sure thing, boss. BGM, paranoid Black Sabbath. The pirate rallied the others, and the rest of Drake's crew went back inside to the Apollo, closing the door just in time as a group possessed was chasing them. Denied of their easy prey, the demonic zombies turned their attention to the Marine and his friends, gnarling and grinding their teeth at the possibility of feasting on the flesh of their mortal enemy. The zombies completely surrounded them. FD. So, when we should start blasting those things, Captain? DG. Anytime you want. FD. Then allow me. Drawing out both of her pistols, Drake shot 2 zombies in the head, leaving only bloody stumps in place of their skulls. The rest of the possessed started attacking the party. JDA. Master, let's defeat these demons. We have to hurry before they can get away with you or Iley. DG. Now it was the Marine's turn to draw out his super shotgun and send those demons back to where they came from. As usual, the gun tore the zombies apart, sending chunks of their bodies everywhere. Doom Guy started to group the zombies together, getting their attention, and when they were relatively close to each other, he mercilessly annihilated the monstrosities with the double barrel, ending their monstrous existence quickly. Jean picked up the pace, keeping the possessed away from her, while severing them in half with her lance, and finishing off any who survived the first blow with a very effective blow right into their skulls. Drake was loving the target practice, getting better and better at popping heads off those zombies after each shot she landed. While the battle on the Apollo's deck was raging on, Artemis was just watching it, playing with Orion in the meantime. When she looked at the ship that was at her side, she recognized it in an instant. Oh, is that the Argo by any chance? Even with all the gunfire, clash of blades, and demonic screeches, Dr. Roman was able to hear what Artemis was prattling about via the Praetor's suit comlink. DR, the Argo? Is it possible? Orion, by the Argo. Do you mean the Argo? While she was killing another possessed pirate, Jean wondered what was this Argo they were talking about. JDA, Argo? What is that? DG, an ancient Greek ship, part of one of the greatest tales of ancient Greek mythology, Jason and the Argonauts. Yeah, you got it right, damn it. Those are the real Argonauts, the ship of adventurers who set sail seeking the Golden Fleece. Likely mankind's first and strongest pirates. Though unlike our broad-buster, generous, big sisterly, Tigbit's captain, their captain will make you think lies have better personalities. DR, then that fellow over there must be Jason, leader of the Argonauts. AST, Joson, JSN, you're so disrespectful, Minotaur. My name should be called with awe and worship, but as you are an ugly monster fated for death, I shall grant you forgiveness. Now, come and get me. HC, what do we do, Captain? Should we crush them here and now? JSN, of course. We are heroes of justice, after all. We will fight and win head-on. Indeed, justice makes me feel so good. When they were distracted talking, Hector felt something push the chains that were holding Euryale prisoner. When he turned around to see what was happening, a green-armored elbow hit his nose, breaking it, and Hector immediately tried to stop the gush of blood that coming out of it with his hands. It was that damned Doomslayer, who picked up Euryale just like Asterios did and put her over his shoulders. Jason, after he saw the 7 feet tall, standing right beside him, cowered behind Heracles and commanded him to attack the stranger that boarded the Argo. When Heracles started to give chase, the stranger used a strange weapon that fired blue projectiles on Heracles. The blue spheres went right through Heracles' chest, dealing extensive damage to him. The stranger then swiftly jumped back to the ship he was originally on, taking Euryale with him. Asterios was extremely happy to see his beloved Euryale safe and sound. Jason, on the other hand, was terrified of the armored warrior. He felt a chill run down his spine when he stood near him. JSN, That guy over there. He's a monster. Look at what he did to Heracles. How's that even possible? HC, I try to warn you. He should be our #1 priority if we want our plan to succeed. Jason quickly regained his composure, trying to sound intimidating to the Marines party. Jean was apprehensive, but not because of Jason. It was that giant of servant. His power was on a scale she never felt before. And not only that, the servant completely healed himself from the injuries caused by the Marines' plasma weapon. That berserker really was on another level than any previous servants they encountered before. JDA, that berserker. Dr. Roman suddenly interrupted Jean before she could ask anything. DR, powerful heroes were gathered as Argonauts, but there is one exceptional hero among them. The greatest hero of Greek mythology. He who overcame the 12 labors. Heracles. JDA, you can't win. As if you could. Heracles traveled everywhere, fought every monster. He was undefeated, and ultimately rose to become a god. He's not like you second and third raters. You trash mobs are fated to be ripped to shreds. Of course, as a summoned servant, he does lack 2 things: intelligence and dignity. He's just a vicious, stray dog now. Serves him right, I'd say. Now, hand over Euryale. If you do, I'll not send Heracles after you. So will you say, you masterish entity? The Marine answered right after he reloaded his super shotgun, ready to fight Heracles. Both Jean and Drake followed his example and braced themselves for the upcoming battle. DG, hush. You'll not have her. JDA, that's my master. FD, and that's my captain for you. You'll not take Euryale from us, sluggard. JSN, haha. I see. You are very courageous. I really like you. And you have such a cute servant, too. Good, very good. You're just like a hero. Woo, so cool. Geez, so cocky for the likes of trash. Can you perish now, servants and all? Medea, my beloved Medea. MBA, yes. Are you calling me, master? JSN, you know what I want, right? I want you to kill them and break them into tiny pieces. Just like you did to my little brother. It's fine. I already repented. I will never betray you again. MDA, little brother in pieces? Sometimes you say strange things, master. But that's right. Lord Jason was like this. Now you're like this. That's why details don't matter. I'm the first disciple of Hecate, goddess of magecraft. Princess Medea, will make your desires come true. Art. Oh, another case of domestic violence, is that right? No, this is way worse than domestic violence. They don't even look at each other. JSN. And Heracles. You shall go too. I'll be looking after you two from here. JDA. He sent his wife to the front line, but doesn't fight himself. Marine, he is DG. A failure that can't do anything for himself. The scum of humanity. JSN. Well, that hit right where it hurts. That was a good one. Now kill them all, Heracles. To think there's someone even scummier than me. This world is so big, and Greece is so tiny. From the Argo, Medea threw what appeared to be fangs in the direction of the deck of the Apollo. As soon as they touched the floor of the deck, the fangs transformed into the dragon-toothed warriors they fought in the Wyvern's Isle. Then, Medea hit the floor of the Argo twice with her staff, and soon she and Heracles were in the deck of the Apollo, alongside Medea's newly born dragon-toothed warriors. DR, look at their numbers with just the dragon-toothed warriors. Art, familiars created from dragon fangs. That's Hecate's specialty, all right. That sparkly kid, is that really Medea? That's weird. I thought Medea would look more like ill-fated, or maybe gloomy. MDA, I still have a lot of materials. Will your ship sink from the dragon-tooth soldiers' weight before you are defeated? DG, you're going to do better than that to sink this ship. FD, try harder, little witch. DG, Jean, I'll take on Heracles. You and Drake will take care of those dragon-tooth warriors. JDA, sure, master. Jean and Drake started to battle against the amped-up skeleton's warriors, repelling their attacks and striking back with great ferocity, destroying any undead that tried to stay on their way. Doomguy tried to reach Heracles and Medea, only to be surrounded by a large group of skeletons. Instead of attacking him, they started to pile up on him, trying to restrain him. Just when Medea thought she had defeated the Marine, the pile of dragon-tooth warriors turned to ice, and the Marine shattered them using the super shotgun, sending ice shards in the direction of Medea and Hercules. Medea was hit by some of the ice shards before she properly summoned a shield to protect herself and Heracles. The dragon-tooth warriors started to piss Drake off, and their relentlessness in trying to take back Euryale was annoying her even more. As she was shooting one of the undead up close with her pistol, Drake started to bark orders at Asterios. FD, take that. You're so damn annoying. Get lost. Euryale, it's you thereafter. Stay with Asterios. Get out of here. But I can't leave you guys here. AST, rest assured. Captain, no, I won't stand this. I'll assist you. Jean appeared in front of Asterios and Euryale, and she pushed the Minotaur back. This infuriated Euryale, and she tried to order Jean to stand aside, venom present in her voice. Wait, are you getting in my way? Stand back. JDA. The second wave of enemies are coming. Please, do as Captain Drake said and get to safety. Just as Jean finished her sentence, Medea threw more dragon fangs in the deck of the Apollo, summoning more dragon-tooth warriors to continue their onslaught against the Marine's party. More skeletons surrounded the Marine as he was moving towards Medea and Heracles once again. They needed to deal with Medea as soon as possible before she could distract them with her minions and capture Euryale once again. Acting quickly, Doomguy herded as many dragon-tooth warriors together as he possibly could, and after he took out the plasma rifle, he fired the microwave beam. The plasma beam jumped from skeleton to skeleton, and after a few seconds, he detonated it. The dragon-tooth warriors exploded, melting in piles of blue goo that were now all around the ship. The few that remained met their swift end at the hands of Jean or Drake, being shot in the head or slashed in half by one of the two. Medea was very impressed by their performance against her warriors, but she still had to defeat them for the sake of her master. So she decided to step in and crush the group herself. MDA, so they have strong bodies and minds. All right, I'll go too, master. JSN, I'm counting on you, my Medea. Although Heracles alone is enough, with your magic our victory is assured. DR, here she comes. Princess Medea, a mage known as a witch even in Greece, where magecraft was mainstream. The Witch of Colchis, whose skills rank among the top 5 in the world. MDA, I will offer everything, dispose of everything, and sacrifice everything, even without reward, even gaining nothing. That is the reason I left the island. Prepare yourselves, everyone. I'm not the best at fighting, so please forgive me if I make you suffer. Tapping the floor with the bottom of her staff, Medea summoned magical circles that floated above her head. From these circles, Medea shot mystic beams of energy at Doomguy's party. Most of them were aimed at him since Medea wanted him gone first, since he was the strongest enemy she was facing right now. But to her surprise, the beams appeared to be absorbed by the strange armor the Marine was wearing. Doomguy retaliated by firing his plasma rifle at her, and Drake also joined the fray, firing both of her pistols as fast as she could. Even though Medea summoned her magical shield to protect her, it soon gave way to the pressure of the firepower it was being subjected to, and the shield exploded, damaging Medea and knocking her back violently, with her body crashing into a crate of supplies nearby. When she got, Medea was facing Jean, who attacked her with the bottom of her lance, and the two started to exchange strikes, Medea using her staff as a makeshift blunt weapon. Medea put up a good struggle, but Jean overpowered her and she struck Medea's chest with her lance, sending her flying towards Hercules. As she once again got up, Medea knew she couldn't fight against them anymore. Luckily, there was someone who was more than capable to destroy them, and he was right at her side. DR, thank goodness she really is a lousy fighter. But the main problem is the other servant, Heracles. MDA, impressive. Just what you'd expect of someone who's already crushed 2 eras. But your time has come to an end. I'm sorry, master, but I can't take them down by myself. Heracles, it's your turn now, brave one. Her. AAA. JDA. The Berserk is ready to attack us. Master, be careful. Aestion, leave my side. Lady, Euryale. What you saying? I'd flee without hesitation, of course. That's Heracles, the strongest hero in the history of mankind. He's like a walking disaster. A man who walks into an avalanche is no hero. He's just a dimwit, and I've seen too many dimwits. FD, I know. In that case. AST, but if somebody needs to, then I will, because I am a monster. Killed many children. Many. So, I will go. I fight. You won't have her. DG. 2 can play this game, Heracles. FD. Captain, what are you? BGM. The 4 Horsemen Metallica. Drake swallowed hard when she saw a red aura cover the entire armor of the Mariner, appearing to originate from inside him. The Mariner was moving like a blur now, and he headed straight for Heracles. The Berserker servant tried to hit the Marine with his crude club, but he was too slow for him, the club hitting the deck of the Apollo instead. Soon, the Marine facing Heracles and the monstrous servant tried to hit him once again with his raw mace. Doomguy immediately struck Heracles' left knee with his boot, snapping it in half with a loud and nasty sound of bones and nerves tearing apart. The two engaged in a deadly fight, with the Marine being extremely aggressive, with him tearing pieces of Heracles' body with his bare hands and crushing anything he could get a hold of. After he broke Heracles' 2 arms after he tried to grab him, The Marine rapidly struck his face with many punches, with everything happening so fast that everyone else in the deck wasn't really able to keep up with the two fighters. To finish Heracles off, the Marine pulled out his super shotgun, and he went behind Heracles and climbed his back, and with the meat hook's chain, Doom Guy started to strangle Heracles with it. The Berserker tried to free himself, but every time he tried it, the Marine only hardened his grip. This went on until he broke the Berserker's servant's neck, almost tearing the head off. And to make sure he wouldn't get up again, Doom Guy fired his super shotgun at point-blank range, Heracles' head exploding soon after. JSN. Oh, effort, so much effort. However, I got some news for you guys concerning Heracles. He's immortal. JDA what? JSN. Heracles' most famous legend. The 12 labors that were given to him by the gods. Since he's overcome them all, he's been granted that many lives as a reward. In other words, you have to defeat him 11 more times. Good luck to you guys. JDA. How can that be? 11 lives? FD. Impossible. That is just cheating. DR. I'm afraid he's right, Captain Drake. Look out. He's starting to resurrect himself. Heracles' head started to reform itself, alongside all the other body parts that were broken during his confrontation with the Marine. A few minutes later, Heracles was back on his foot, ready to complete the task Medea gave him. Medea also transported herself back to the Argo, staying right beside Jason once again. DG. I'll just have to destroy you again, Dash. Before anyone could even act, Asterios grabbed Heracles by the waist, and the Minotaur pushed him into the ocean with him. A great splash of water could be heard, and the two berserkers started to struggle on the water. A desperate, Viley went to the board of the deck, and she started to yell at Asterios. Aye, Asterios. It's no good now. We're no match. We can't win against him. It's no good. It's no good, but why? Asterios. Ast-ug. Kill Ed killed. Killed. Innocent children. Father told me to do it. Father called me a monster, but it was my fault. I was sure my heart was monster, but you call my name. Everyone forgot my name. Then I need to return, even if I'm not forgiven, even if I'm still ugly. I need to return to a human. Ugh. JSN. That's quite considerate of you, Oxhead. Medea. Go retrieve Euryale. MBA. Yes. Just what you'd expect of the Minotaur. Though only once, he ultimately pushed Heracles back. Before Medea tried to go back to the deck of the Apollo, two green balls hit the side of Argo, exploding upon impact and shaking Jason's ship. It was the doing of both the Stranger and Captain Drake that fired the strange weapons that were located on the sides of their ship. FD, don't you even dare. Come over here, Euryale. MDA, why do you go so far to protect her? You're a pirate knowing no love nor romance. Only desire. So why? FD, huh? You don't understand? I may be inhuman, but this girl's beauty is true. Her soul is especially beautiful. She's not blind like you. It's obvious we would protect her. Euryale is our treasure. I won't let a guy like that get even a hair from her head. Aye, Drake. JDA. Euryale, please stand back. You're the one they're after. We'll protect you from them. As the two Berserker servants were fighting in the water, Jason ordered Hector to use his noble phantasm to kill Asterios, fully knowing it would also kill Heracles in the process. JSN. Hector. HC. Time to do it? JSN. Yes. When things don't go exactly as I plan, it irritates me. Heracles doesn't want to follow my orders, and I can't stand my own allies' disorderly conduct. If you can't follow orders, you're worse than the enemy. HC. Very well. Releasing Noble Phantasm. On. Oh, this doesn't look good. Asterios. AST. No. I can't. Let go of this one. HC, huh? If you want to stop this, you should bring either Achilles or AIA's shield. Durandana Pilum. Hector threw his lance in the direction of the two berserkers, piercing their chests in a whim. The two servants stopped struggling against one another, and their bodies sank into the ocean, disappearing from view. Euryale was inconsolable, crying for Asterios to return back to the Apollo, but the sea stood still. No signs of either of the servants could be seen on the dark water. I know. Asterios. JSN. Good job, Hector. That damn oxhead is going to hell along with Heracles. But Heracles will revive immediately. You died once, and Oxhead also died. You should have come to your senses a little bit. HC. I'm impressed. He clung onto Heracles, fully aware that the spear would pierce through his body. By doing so, my spear becomes a chain and ties Heracles down. He really wanted to let Euryale escape, even if it meant receiving a fatal blow. Also, before I forget, here's the Holy Grail, Captain. JSN. Oh, so this is the Holy Grail. Well, I suppose this is sufficient to be king of this world. I only regret that the previous owner was a lowly pirate. Now all I need is Euryale and the Ark of the Covenant. Then I'll have everything I need. HC. Captain, you sure it's okay to disclose this? JSN. It's fine, Hector. They wouldn't have the slightest clue. Not of this world. Not of this era. Not of our true intentions. Nothing. HC. Well, I think the lack of understanding is mutual. Right after Jason said this, the Marine could hear the anxiety emanating from Dr. Roman's voice as he was shuffling through the comlink. DR. Wait, did he say Ark of the Covenant? DG. You've heard it right, Doctor. JSN. Since we have almost everything that we need to complete our task, we'll be leaving now. Media, if you please. MDA. As you wish, my dear master. FD. You're not going anywhere, you bastards. Take this. JSN. So long, villains. We'll be seeing each other very soon. As Drake fired the BFG-type cannon in the direction of the Argo, Jason's ship faded away from their view and it teleported to somewhere else. Drake hissed with anger and insulted Jason, calling him by all the names she knew. Euryale was tired of crying, and she now only was letting out a light sob, mourning the death of her faithful Asterios. Jean felt her sorrow, and she started to pray for her and Asterios, hoping the Lord would give Euryale the strength she would need to move on, even though Euryale was a goddess herself. The Marine put his hand on Euryale's shoulder, and she looked up to him. Even though he didn't say a word, she felt he could understand her pain, and his gesture comforted her a bit. The group just stood there for some hours, and after the night came, they returned to the bridge of the Apollo, and after the Marine tapped on the console, the vessel started to sail once again, moving to the next stage. USS Apollo's bridge, Okeanos, 1573, 1,100 hours. While the Marine was monitoring the radar for any signs of the Argo nearby, a familiar voice called for him. The last 3 days were rough. Euryale shut herself in her room after Asterios died, and nothing could make her come out there. Doom Guy understood her feelings. After all, he knew about Lost too. And because of Asterios' death and Euryale's state, the morale of Drake's crew decreased considerably, which could be very dangerous in the future. The voice that called was Jean, as she entered the bridge, soon followed by Captain Drake. JDA. Sorry to distract you, Master, but something has been bothering me for the last few days. DG. It's about the Ark of the Covenant, right? FD. You hit the nail right in the head. What is that? Is that a treasure? DR. Yes, one of the greatest treasures of humanity. It's a relic equivalent to that of the true Holy Grail. DG. The Ark of the Covenant contains the 10 commandments that Moses, leader of ancient Israel, received from God himself, according to the Old Testament. FD. Oh, then it must be worth tons of gold. JDA. Captain, that's outrageous. That's a holy relic, a gift from God, not some treasure you can sell to anyone. DR. Jean has a point. Also, that's what Jason and the Argonauts are searching for. I'm certain that that's what he said. Even with Blackbeard gone, the singularity still stands. This means we should assume that Jason, captain of the Argonauts, is the singularity. JDA. And what they want to do with the Ark? DG. Who knows? One thing is for sure. We can't let them open it. FD. Really? And why are you saying that, Captain? DR. Because not anyone can open the Ark. FD. Aren't you two being a little too cautious? DR. You say that because you don't know the story about the Ark. JDA. Can you tell us more about the Ark, Master? Doctor? DG. According to the stories, those who tried to touch or look inside it died where they stood. The Ark was so powerful, the Israelites carried it into battle. The power of the relic so limitless, it was capable of destroying the supposedly indestructible walls of the city of Jericho. DR. And when the Philistines captured it, disease and devastation befall their land, making them willingly return the Ark to Israel. There's also a rumor that the Nazis got hold of the Ark during World War II, and when they opened it on a remote island near Cyprus, their faces melted and their bodies exploded from the inside out. FD. I didn't quite understand the last part of what the doctor said, but what the hell? Why did ancient kings possess something so dangerous? Were they all idiots or what? DG. Idiots like Jason are the real threat. That's why we must seize the Ark and keep it safe from his hands. JDA. I agree. But how we're going to defeat Heracles? DR. You'll have to kill him 10 more times. But with the Ark in our possession, perhaps we could use it to destroy him permanently. And we'll have the advantage over the Argonauts since we'll have what they seek. DG. And they'll fall right into our trap. FD. I like this plan. So what are we waiting for? Let's find the Ark. DR. Absolutely. From what I can see, there was a massive outburst of energy northwest from our position. Perhaps that was the power of the Ark. Can you see it too, Marine? DG. Yes, Doctor. I'm setting a course to it right away. Hours later, they finally arrived in a medium-sized archipelago. As the Apollo was docking on the beach of one of the islands, an arrow hit one of the BFG-type cannons on the deck, the thing getting stuck inside it. Attached to it was what appeared to be a letter, and it was addressed to Artemis. After the Marine yanked it out of the cannon, he immediately gave it to its addressee. The letter was from Atlanta. The servant, both Doom Guy and Jean, fought back in France. But it seems this time, she wasn't their enemy. Artemis was already descending the ramp as soon as it landed on the beach, which prompted a response from Orion. Hey, are you really going to meet her? Art, huh? Of course. She's a hunter who worships me. I have to give her my blessing. Well, okay. JDA. Orion, is there a problem? Well, Mash. Artemis is the goddess of virginity. Art. Oh, darling. Virginity? You're embarrassing me. Oh, but I do run simulations every day of the day. I lose my virginity, you see? What was that now? Arch. Orion first slams his hand against the wall. Like slam. And then he whispers in my ear. Am I not good enough? In a husky voice. And then, JDA. Stop, Miss Artemis. You must not let these sinful ideas overpower you. Forget about her, Jean. Her head is just way too romantic. If she saw that, I think she'd faint from shock. And I think we have some friends waiting for us over there. Euryale said as she was standing behind the group. The stern look in her eyes indicated that she was able to come to terms with Asterio's tragic departure, a little at least. And to where she was gesturing to, a group of werewolves and were-jaguars were coming from the thick forest of the Isle. The Marines' party prepared to fight against them. JDA. Master, what are your orders? DG. The usual. Dispatch them quickly. JDA. Right, Master. That will be done. FD. Then allow me to return their kindness, Captain. Carefully aiming both of her pistols, Drake shot down 2 jaguars, their heads gone in a flash. Using the equipment launcher, the Marine launched a frag grenade in the direction of the enemy group, the explosion wiping most of them and disorienting the survivors, making them easy prey for Jean's lance and Euryale's arrow. When they finished off the first group of were-creatures, an even larger assembly of werewolves and were-jaguars appeared from deep within the thick forest. But the Marine and his companions did not falter, and they pushed forward against the oncoming monsters instead, engaging them immediately. Using the chain gun's energy shield, Doomguy hastened in the direction of the were-creatures, ramming the shield on them with tremendous force. Some of the monsters were torn apart by the sheer strength the Marine used on them, while the surviving creatures faltering when a wave of arrows, coming from somewhere from the treetops, struck the monsters, hitting them on their vital points, and all of them fell dead on the ground, not making a single sound. The arrows looked very familiar to Jean and the Marine when a voice could be heard from the treetops. Stay there. JDA. That voice. DG. It's Atlanta. FD. Are you the one who shot that arrow? ATL. That's right. Do you still want to fight the Argonauts? Or have you already given up and capitulated? JDA. We haven't given up. We'll defeat them. ATL. Very well. Then I shall show myself. Atlanta dropped from the tree in front of them, landing gracefully while brandishing her trusted bow. ATL. Forgive my questioning. I already knew the answer, but I still had to ask. We are, after all, the last hope in these seas. DG. Thank for the assistance. What are you doing here, Atlanta? JDA. Do you still remember us from our encounter in France? ATL. Oh yes. How could I forget you too? Especially the one who defeated me, the illustrious Doomslayer. I was affected by madness enhancement back then, but this time I've been summoned as a normal archer. For now, I perceive to be on your side. FD. Doom what? ATL. Don't worry about it, stranger. It also seems you've amassed quite the crew. JDA. Let me introduce them. This is Captain Francis Drake, and this is Euryale. ATL. Good to meet you all. Also, is this the real Lady Artemis? I can't believe she has been summoned as a servant. She seems quite different from the goddess of hunting and virginity, I know. Art. Hey, darling. Atalanta doesn't believe me. What's wrong with the goddess of virginity living for love, right? On, ha ha ha. No comment. No comment. ATL. Art. It's true, Atlanta. The hunter goddess who lives for love. That's me, Artemis. Hee hee. ATL. I don't know what to say. This is a shock for me. JDA. Can you take it? ATL. Fine. The Holy Grail War on the Great Seas has strengthened my mind a bit. Even finding out the goddess I worship is hopelessly romantic won't be enough to break me. DG. You'll have to hang in there. ATL. You don't sound like you actually mean it. Anyway, I would like to introduce you to another servant. The servant in possession of the Ark. In other words, the man the Argonauts and your group seek. JDA. The Ark of the Covenant is a noble phantasm. ATL. Yes. He was the first servant summoned to these seas. His true name. I've been waiting for you in your group. Welcome, Doomslayer. Everyone looked in the direction where the new voice came from. A man wearing strange clothing and with both green hair and eyes was walking towards the group, while Atlanta finished her sentence. ATL is David. Unknown Archipelago, Okeanos, 1573, 1800 hours. Night had already fallen when David invited the party to the makeshift camp he made for himself, with Atlanta's help, somewhat deep in the forest of the Isle. When they arrived at the camp, 2 tents stood in the middle of a clearing, accompanied by the usual campfire and logs serving as benches. In one of the tents, there it was, the item the Marines party was seeking, the Ark of the Covenant. Doomguy thought it looked exactly like the stories told. A large, golden chest with 2 statuettes depicting angels on top of the lid, truly a work of art. Jean was mesmerized by the Ark, and she made the sign of the cross. Drake also was staring at it, thinking about how much she would get paid if she sold the Ark to the Queen. David noticed the group staring at it and decided to explain everything about the Ark, gesturing for everyone to take a sit. DVD